are traceable to the crucibles that cooked light elements into heavy elements in their core under extreme temperatures and pressures. These stars, the high-mass ones among them, went unstable in their later years.
Welcome to the
They collapsed and then exploded, scattering their enriched guts across the galaxy.
Yes.
Guts made of carbon, nitrogen, oxygen,
Yes.
and all the fundamental ingredients of life itself. These ingredients become part of gas clouds that condense, collapse, form the next generation of solar systems, stars with orbiting planets. And those planets now have the ingredients for life itself. So that when I look up at the night sky, and I know that, yes, we are part of this universe, we are in this universe, but perhaps more important than both of those facts is that the universe is in us. When I reflect on that fact, I look up. Many people feel small because they're small and the universe is big, but I feel big because my atoms came from those stars.
Real talk, real talk, real talk.
All right, just a couple of thoughts. One that's sort of deeply cosmic and another one that is fascinatingly disturbing, I think. You'll be the judge.
Degrasse Tyson.
Consider a couple of fundamental facts that has been gleaned in the past 60 years. That the ingredients, if you had asked your chemistry teacher 50 years ago, once you looked at that mysterious chart of boxes that sat in front of your class, the periodic table of elements, where did those elements come from? The chemistry teacher would actually not have an answer for you. They'd say, well, you dig them out of the earth. That's not where they come from. It took modern astrophysics to determine the origin of the chemical elements.
Yep. Sure
We observe stars. We know what goes on in their center. They explode, laying bare their contents. And what we have discovered is that the elements of the periodic table, that which we are made of, derive from the actions of stars that have manufactured the elements, exploded, scattered their enriched guts across the galaxy, contaminating or enriching gas clouds that then form a next generation of stars populated by planets and possibly life. And so, when you look at the ingredients of the universe, the number one ingredient is hydrogen. Next is helium. Next is carbon. Hydrogen, helium, oxygen, carbon, nitrogen. Those are the top ingredients in the universe. They say, well, okay, that's kind of cool. Oh, and you look at Earth, because we like thinking of ourselves as special. We say, oh, we're special. But what are we made of? Well, what's the number one sort of molecule in the body? It's water. It's water. But what's water made of? H2O. Hydrogen and oxygen. Hydrogen and oxygen. In fact, if you rank the elements in the human body, with the exception of helium, which is chemically inert, useless to you for any reason other than just to inhale it and sound like Mickey Mouse.
Right. I know that's what I was
You can't
doing.
die from helium unless that's all you breathe. Number one in the human body is hydrogen. Matches the universe. Number two is oxygen. Matches the universe. Number three, carbon. Matches the universe. Number four, nitrogen. Matches the universe. And for each of us, the fifth element, other, is the same in both places. Okay? Other. So,
Welcome to the AP
we
Water
learned
Show.
in the last 50 years that, of course, not only do
Yes,
we
we are.
exist in this universe,
One of my
there's a universe
absolute
itself
favorite
that exists within us.
voices on this earth
And had we been made of some
in the form of education and science, innovation, Neil deGrasse Tyson.
who are upset by
And he's hilarious too. I love Neil deGrasse Tyson. How about you? He's one of my favorites. And I want to say a huge good morning to you, and you too. Like literally you too. Let it fly, Marcy. Welcome, AP Morning Show. Yes, here we go. Here we go. Hope y'all can clearly hear me. Hope you can hear me clearly though. I got my new microphone, got it plugged up straight to the phone. Feeling all good in the hood, like I was 94. Macaulay Culkin, Home Alone. Remember that? That was my favorite part of the movie. I think that was all of our favorite parts. Grew up in those good movies. AP Morning Show. Happy Friday to you too. You too. Welcome to my FB Live crew. Let me see if I can pull y'all up on my other Celica phone. And I can show you what I'm on. AP Morning Show. Oh, Mike Mello, what's happening, bro? At least we have the same crazy sense of humor. Yes, we do, bro. Yes, we do. So true. So true. Rock, y'all. It's the AP Morning Show. Yes. AP Morning Show. Welcome. Today, I'm excited because we got a lot of good stuff to talk about as always. And if you're on FB Live with me, first of all, hello. Look, you might be able to see yourself through that number right there. Right, drop a line. Let me know if you can hear me clearly. Give me your sound check. And I just want to say that I'm happy about today because it's Friday. And you know, I honestly would feel that way every day, to be honest. Like, it doesn't matter. But at the same time, looking forward to a good weekend time, one line at a time. Gonna be feeling it this weekend. Why? Because I'm flying to the FL, Florida. And I just put up a video that shows me putting my toes in the sand. The only time I got to in 2020. And it's on my TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, is everywhere. It's just called What is Life? And it's just me saying a few words. In fact, I'll share that today for all of the family. But it's one of the only times that I got the opportunity to put my, see if I can get this big. One of the only times I got to put my toes in the sand. God damn, really? The only time. I keep saying one of the only times. I think I dreamed the other times, because I don't know what the hell one of the only times. So this is yours truly. I'm drawing in the sand, and I'm writing one of my favorite quotes by one of my favorite people, Bruce Lee. Be water, my friend. Be water. And you also see that I got the chance to walk through the sand and see the beach and see the birds and all the beautiful people. And in the background of this video is my original song called Yellows of Spring. That's me walking in the sand. And that is the name of the album that Yellows of Spring comes from. Key Reflections, volume number 1. Just had a good old time. And so the writing, the quote that's in the background of this video, it's my original quote, and it's called What is Life? My original writing is a pondering. It's actually pondering, actually. It's in my book on Medium. If you go to Medium, download Medium app, just right on your phone, just like that. Or you can go to medium.com, look for Aaron Hill TV, and you'll see all my writings. And so the writing that you hear in this video, What is Life, is in my ponderings book. I'm writing about maybe 8 books on there. I have 2 books that are quotes, a ponderings book, a shenanigans book with me and my tomfoolery, as well as a few other things, some poetry, just a bunch of other good stuff. So anywho, enough talking. I just want to get talking to my peeps on CHNFB. So by all means, if you'd like to come up to the stage so we can say hey, then you know what to do. Just give me your wave, come through. And I also want to know how this microphone sounds, because right now I'm using like this like dope ass Shure. Look at the back of that. That's so cool. I'm using a Shure MV88 Plus. Holla if you hear me. So this little ditty, you can plug this up to your phone, Android or iPhone. This cable here, let's see, they got a headphone joint there. Sorry peeps. I unplugged the microphone so I can show FB peeps how it plugs in. And so they've got headphone jack right there, and then they give you two of these cables, one for iPhone and one for Android. And this is the MV88 Plus Pro, because it comes with a kit. Comes with a shoe in order to put this on top of a mount. And then what else does it come with? It comes with a little tripod. I have to see if I can find y'all that tripod in a few to show you. But it's a whole kit, I promise you. Grab this, it'll take your sound to a whole nother level. That's it. Yes. Marcy Edafly, how you doing this morning? If you would like to come up to the stage, by all means, I would love to say hey. And if not, no worries. Because right now, we're in the midst of work. We're in the midst of flow. Some of us are in the tub, you know. Welcome to the AP Morning Show. This is where we stand every morning in accountability with each other. Shoulder to shoulder. Brother to brother. Sister to mister. Here we go. Let's say what's up to Marcy. How you doing, Marcy? How you doing, Marcy?
Good morning.
Good morning, Marcy. How you doing today?
I'm doing great. I'm glad it's Friday.
Right.
I can finally unwind.
Yes. I definitely feel you on that. Marcy, could you hear me clearly a few minutes ago? I was using a microphone.
Yes. Yes, it sounds great.
Sounded like it was coming through. Cool. So I had to unplug it just now when I invited you up to the stage, because the way that the software engineering works is that they have it right now where if you have like a external microphone, you could, if it doesn't have a way to listen, then when you come up to the stage, it'll actually like disconnect and it'll go back to the phone speaker like right now. So that microphone is just for speaking into. But yeah, so I just wanted to try it real quick before you jumped up here. Yes. So it's good to talk to you as always, Marcy. As always, Marcy, is it a what did we have the other day? An essential oils bath morning, or is it just like you up and at 'em, you moving?
I am essentially on this call while I'm still laying in the bed.
Yes, I love it. As always. How was your day yesterday, Marcy?
Busy. It was very, very busy. I was in and out of the morning show with meetings, and of course my Friday will be filled with such as well. So I'm just ready for the weekend to roll in so I can, dream of some Auntie G's cookies. But I'm just gonna make regular cookies and hope they don't burn.
I definitely feel you on that. Auntie G's cookies, I tell you, it comes up at least once a show. It comes up, Auntie G's cookies, because OMG, are you waiting on yours in the mail, or have you gotten them? Where
I haven't ordered them. I'm kind of slow with it because I'm like, sometimes I see her in the room and I go to click, and then before you know it, I got a phone call from
right.
Because my Zoom meetings are coming straight to my cell phone now, because now my employer thinks that they should be on my phone.
Wow.
Because, so I'm just like, okay, is this what executive leadership is about?
Right.
I don't know if I like it.
Right. Yeah, look, I
mean, I like it bi-weekly when I get paid, but other than that, no.
Yeah, I feel you on that. You know, when that access point gets like that personal, that close, it's like, I don't know about this. I feel you, because I would feel the same way, to be honest. It's like, you know, it's one thing to, reach me in by email or some other way, and by phone if it's emergency, but it's another thing for that just to be the phone that you reach out to for regular work stuff. It's like, this is getting a little bit too close to home here. How long have you actually been in this role?
And with this employer for 3 years, but I've been in human resources for 31 years.
Right. But I was thinking about what you just said when you were like, if this is what this feels like,
Yeah. I mean, I really love what I do, because for the 1 day a week where I get someone to say, thank you for saving my job, or thank you for standing up for me, it means everything. Because, you know, as a people, we have enough to deal with in the corporate world.
Right.
But when we've got everyone that's above us trying to pull us down and say, well, you didn't do this, so we're going to fire you. Or you didn't do that. And it's like, I had to go to bat for an employee yesterday who never knew she was supposed to do those things.
Wow.
They never explained it to her, and they wanted to place her on a performance plan, and I said that's not right.
What's a performance planner? Like, where they track your progress?
Everything that you do. Basically almost all of your movement on your laptop and your phone, because they give you the equipment. They monitor every call you make, every email you send out, and if it's not in accordance to the company and you don't meet projected goals and sales, they then say you did not meet performance goals, and they start to put you on this plan and give you like 10 business days to 20 business days to pull yourself together. And it's like, the young lady was doing her job. She got a $1,500 bonus last month for being the top performer. So 3 weeks later, she's bad business.
Right.
So I was a little concerned with that. I said, well, let's take a look at her performance. I said, I don't see a month in all of her years of working for us that she didn't bonus, which means she did her job. So if she had a rough time, let's just say maybe something happened in the household.
Right.
Maybe, she actually had to move during this time as well.
Oh, wow.
And never put in time off. She moved and she went to the library to use the hotspot at the library to work while the movers brought her stuff in her new place.
Right. Wow. You know, the one thing as I'm listening to you say, speak about this, is that, this is good when you have someone to come to bat for you, go to bat for you, especially when you, when someone is either treating you unjustifiably or, not seeing things for what they are. It sounds like that planner that you're talking about. Once you go on that planner, like, pretty much even just by going on it, like, now they're looking at you a whole different way, like, period. And if you don't deserve that, that's like, that's stressful or frustrating, really.
Absolutely.
Yeah. With that, were they able to hear you out, and did it make a difference, or I'm sorry, did it make a difference, or did they just kind of dismiss it, as far as you?
They had to actually go through the process of explaining when they ever told her that it was a policy.
Right. And
usually when you have this person working on this particular account, you have to give them the expectations in writing. When they come to the account, they never gave it to her because it's changed every week since she's been working with them. And because it wasn't anything documented, they had to rescind the entire thing.
Oh, wow.
So I made them take the whole thing back. I said, this is not going to work.
Right. You know, I tell you, again, it's always significant when you have someone like yourself to make that difference, because if not, like, you know, you have people getting mistreated left and right. It seems like, you know, especially with your background and even like what you were telling me, you know, your background was in law enforcement and these kind of things. I can imagine there's a lot of people that you've gone to bat for over the years, where, like, you know, their situations were like completely different just because they had, you know, your voice in the mix. They had you as a third party. You know, your job was to sort it out, and you know, and I think about in different workplaces where people are treated unjustifiably and they don't have someone like that, you know, to go to bat. And yeah, it's unfortunate. So I can imagine you have been a superhero over the years to many. I really can.
Yeah, I've tried to save a lot of people, and sometimes it's come back to bite me. In which case, I just say, well, you know, you didn't follow protocol. I saved you the first time, but this is really at a point where I can't help you, and they still end up thanking me, and you know, moving on, and we continue to associate. But I generally try to help everybody at least at one time when it matters most. Right.
I love that. Marcy, tell me about your life as a former NCAA basketball player. Like, I'm curious because I remember we had kind of mentioned it before, or you had mentioned it before, but I didn't get a chance to ask you more about that. So, you know, was basketball something that you were into when you were younger? Was it when you got to, you know, high school, or where did that start for you?
Well, my godparents both played basketball.
Okay.
At Canarsie High School in Brooklyn. And my godfather went on to play for LIU.
Okay.
And during that time, like once I was born, my mom had gotten sick, so I went to stay with my godparents for a while, and I was around basketball the whole time. And it was just something that just was always there. So it was like the one thing that I did where I could be alone but still be around people, and they didn't bother me. And
the one thing
I
where
wanted
you could
to
be
have that time
alone but still be around people, but it didn't bother you.
Right. And I always picked up a basketball and went to the other end of the court while my godfather played with all of his friends, and we used to go down to a place called Tillery Park, downtown Brooklyn. And by the time I was about 12, I really started to play with other boys in the park because there were no girls playing basketball in the park. And that was where it really kind of picked up for me. And it just became very easy and commonplace for me to want to go to the park and play basketball.
Wow. How old were you around the time?
By the time I got to high school, I was 12.
You were 12 then, okay.
And I got to high school and just continued.
So that was like, you know, like the one thing you said again, and I want to go back to this, because again, when I listen to stories, I always like to find those points where people find themselves, or they find solace, or they, you know, find a niche or something that works for them as far as self-care or something. You said this was an activity where you could be around people. How did you put it? You said where I could be around.
I could be around people. I could still be myself and be by myself and be around people.
Right. That was a significant thing there. So I can imagine the court when I think about that, and I think about sports, and I think about the rules and the structure of it, and a number of things that you learn from the game. I mean, there's so many things you learn about life from different things like playing sports, you know, or having different hobbies, you know, you might apply them there in that practice, but then you realize either then or later, you know, how it helps you in life or something else you can apply to it in life. So I can imagine the court was a place of refuge, you know. I can imagine it was a place of therapy and de-stressing. Like what you just said, the social time was there, but you know, if it was a comfortable kind of social time. I can imagine you felt successful, like it you know, what position did you play when you were in high school?
I was a point guard.
Point guard, yeah. Did you that's so I remember when I was 13, I played basketball as well. I played for a league, and I learned so many things on the court, you know, like patience and teamwork and these kind of things. Do you feel like you learned a lot of life lessons from the court too?
Absolutely. I learned everything about teamwork from playing basketball, because prior to that, I was, you know, always wanting to be alone.
Right.
And that game forced me to interact with other people,
right,
and learn how they thought and learn how to utilize them in a teamwork kind of way without excluding them. So
right,
everybody basically had to touch this ball,
right,
for the most part when you're young.
Right.
But as I got into high school, I learned, hey, if they can't catch, don't pass the ball.
Right.
So then
right.
it turned into, hey, meet me after school. Let me show you how you're going to catch this ball.
Oh,
you're
wow.
know how to catch every pass I throw.
Wait a
And
minute.
you're
So
gonna learn how to run.
So you were doing this when you were playing for the team. You would have like your own sessions, like
After school, I would do it because a lot of kids, you know, as a female, a lot of girls may have been tall and just still had no real movement.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, I need you to catch this ball.
Mm.
You can't be this big and not catch the ball.
Right.
It's going through your hands. What is wrong with you? or you run really clunky and
mm-hmm.
you're not fast. And I would say, listen, we're going to run until you speed up.
Mm.
So I enjoyed working with everybody that was on the team to that extent, but it was usually one-on-one.
Right.
And most of the time people would go home because of the starting 5, 4 of us were good enough to just say, well, we can go home
mm-hmm.
after we practice.
Mm-hmm.
But that 5th player needed the work, and the coach wouldn't give her the work because he's like, she's just tall. Just put the ball up in the air, lob it to her, and she'll lay it up. And I'm like, she can't catch.
Mm. Yeah, this is interesting because I think this might be one of the first times in life I've ever heard of a person who was in high school who was on a team where there's coaches, where there's players, and besides the regular fulfillment of practice and those kind of things, would also go to further extents to even work with players to help them bring that game up. Like that's really significant. I don't know anybody who I've ever seen, like all the best players I know, that even when I played basketball and football, whether they were, you know, the top starting 5 or they were just in those ranks, I don't know anybody when practice was over or the requirement, whatever the requirements were, they would fulfill that. And, you know, that's it. And, you know, that was decent enough. But for you to go a step farther, for you to have conversation with the coach about these things and then take it a step farther, that's really cool. Like, I think that's so dope. I can imagine that that the players like really appreciated it, because for you to go farther than the actual coach is going, you know?
It meant a lot to me. That was just the whole thing. I mean, people laughed at this girl. And I thought to myself, you know, that could have been me.
Right.
But because it's not, let me not let her just sit there and be laughed at.
And just be laughed at, yeah.
Yeah, so let me help her. And I think that was when I realized I really, really enjoyed the coaching aspect as well as the playing aspect.
Yeah. That makes sense to me. So, you know, you're playing ball, when you're younger, and it's always interesting when you go from like street ball to, playing on a court and playing for a team. You learn some things about rules and boundaries and these other things that's not a part of that. I can imagine because of your background and your family's background with law enforcement, the structural part of it was more than likely just a pretty easy thing for you. But what I think is interesting is, from there, when I think about what you said about teamwork and working with other people, that is where you have to learn teamwork, because if you're going to be successful on the court, then it's not all about you. Or even if you're not the type of person where it's all about you, where it's like you don't want to, you're introverted or just used to being to yourself, you're forced to come out of your shell, So yeah, I can definitely imagine that really opened up things for you. And then you went from there. You played in what was the high school again that you were at?
I played in graphic communication arts.
Okay. And then so you went from there, and then you played in college. And where was that?
That was a long journey, but I ended at Cornell.
At Cornell, okay.
New York. And I went from team to team and school to school, because while I'm a structured individual, what I'm not is a pushover. And there were some events, and back in the day, there's certain things you couldn't do and say, and it would always result in altercations. So, to put it lightly, I would get into a lot of fights.
I got you. I got you. Running point guard, again, you learn teamwork, but you learn it at a particular way because you're in charge, but at the same, not in charge, but it's a significant kind of role where to much degree, you have a high priority as far as the way things go. And so learning teamwork in that way, I can imagine really, really did teach you a lot, because you have the structure and you have the leadership qualities, and then on top of that, the team qualities, and then putting those two together. Who was did you have who was your icon, in the basketball in your basketball years? Like, who was the first person that really influenced you? Whether it was from a playing perspective, whether it was from a mental perspective as far as the way they talk or how they approach the game. Who first really spoke to you?
The first person?
Yeah, was
Larry Bird.
Larry Bird? Wow.
Yep.
Yeah. The Bird.
I had an incident where my family has a house out in Martha's Vineyard. And to get people from the island to come to the stadiums, they would give them tickets for their family. And players had to deliver the tickets.
Oh, really?
So the best part was, there was always a selected player at different times to go and deliver the tickets. And that particular year, it was him. And I was outside, and we had the only house that had a goal at it. Who has a basketball goal in Martha's Vineyard when you can go to the beach and do so many other things? But I needed that time, and that was my away from everybody else time. That's my place. And when the car pulled up and they rang the bell and I was outside, and he came around the back, and that was the day that I met him, and it was very surreal. Like, wow, this is him. Like, and he's gonna shoot free throws with me.
That is so. Wait a minute. Wait. This is amazing.
Yes, he shot free throws with me, and he was so huge.
Wow.
Compared to me, and I'm just like, wow, he's like a superstar. And the only thing that changed our whole interaction was when he said, "Who's your favorite player?" And I said, Magic Johnson. That changed everything.
Right.
He was devastated. I said, I got to tell you that guy's got a marvelous smile. He's very camera ready. I mean, I like magic.
What? Yes, right. Oh, this is the best story ever.
He was in absolute shock, and I'll never forget it because he said, well, that's really good. I said, so I always watch you because I'm a Boston fan, but I also watch Magic Johnson if I could stay up late enough to watch it. And he says, okay. And to watch them over the years was big for me because at different points in my life I was able to meet both of them. And
wow.
It was everything to me. It was everything to me.
Talk about two twin towers, in a game for so many reasons. Wow, this is the coolest ever. I would love a good story. And to hear that you met, oh my God, I can't believe it. I love my life, I'm telling you. I got to meet a person who met Larry Bird. First of all, did you say, I mean, I know you said like the players had to come out and give the tickets, but did you say that it was a surprise? Like you were just outside and he walked up, or did like?
Yeah.
Wow.
A car pulled up to the front of the house and I was in the back, like toward the side of the house, just shooting. And the car pulled up and I just figured, well, somebody's going to the house.
Right.
And my family didn't have any idea who he was because they didn't watch basketball.
Right.
So I'm like, are you kidding? This is Larry, but oh my God. And my dad is saying, who is that? Why is he giving us stuff? and I was explaining, like, these are tickets. We have to go. And we got the tickets to the Celtics, the Sox, and the Patriots. And from that point on, I was a fan of everybody except the Sox because I'm always going to be a Yankee fan. But we went to Yankee games a lot during the regular season, so I would never be a Sox fan.
Right. Marcy, this is incredible. Okay, so yeah, this is amazing. You meet Larry Bird. That's really, really influential. Everybody, I just want to do a quick reset. I'm hanging out with Marcy here, and I always love a good ass story. Always love a good story. And so it's why I love asking questions. Thanks, Mom. It's why I, just love listening, because you learn something new every day. And so in that quest and that journey, what the conversation has unfolded to is just, I just found out that Marcy met Larry Bird in one of the most interesting, surprising moments where the players were coming out in her area to give out tickets, and she happened to be outside playing basketball in her, on her hoop, and Larry Bird shows up for tickets. Like, that's absolutely amazing. And then she has the beautiful honesty, which is what I know about you, Marcy, at this point, and I love it. It makes me laugh because I'm like, yeah, Marcy's always been just unapologetically honest. Like, hey, this is what it is. And she tells Larry Bird that her favorite player. Now, the funny thing about it is he opened the door for that one, Marcy. He was like, yeah, I bet he was thinking later, like, damn, did I really want to know that? I want to know that. I'm willing to bet you probably, if that was like a standard question, and if most people were like, it's you, Larry, it's you, more than likely after that, he thought about that, like, yeah, I don't want my heart broken like that anymore. And she tells Larry Bird that her favorite player at that time is Magic Johnson, which I can't blame you for. Oh my goodness, Magic Johnson, those hands, the no-look pass, the assist, man, Magic Johnson was magical. OMG. So, yeah, we're just hanging out. Thank you, Delia, Dianara, Tani, Clarissa, Tanisha. Good morning. Good morning to you. Good morning to you. Welcome to the AP Morning Show. We're standing here as accountability partners. So, Marcy, and by all means, if you all like to come up to the stage, you know what to do. Go ahead and give me a wave, raise your hand. And if not, you just want to hang out because this is your background radio morning show. And by all means, you can continue to do that too. Come through. But yeah, Marcy, so that's really fascinating. you take this journey. Me being a basketball player myself too, not on the level where you went, even as far as college, but just a lover and of basketball, and someone who played it young in the rec leagues and in high school, middle school. It's so many things that I learned from playing that. It was teamwork. It was like how to see the macro versus the micro, how to look at how things and people work together, how to work with different personalities, how to work with different archetypes, and then other kind of conceptual things, like the fact that when you look at this court, there's a square, there's all these agreements, and so you got this square, and the deal is if you go over that square, if the ball goes over, it's out of bounds. That's the place you don't want to go. But then knowing that that's within the framework of a stadium, or a gymnasium, and then that's within the framework of a block, and that's within the framework of a community, and you realize that these rules are arbitrary, and it just teaches you a lot about life and what it means to make agreements. I often would use the basketball court to speak about all sorts of things where I'm talking about agreements, where I'll say this out of bounds line is something that's not good here, but really that line really means nothing, and I would use that dichotomy, to paint pictures and points. So Marcy, I can imagine, you learn countless lessons, countless things for yourself, countless tests and working with other people, in that game. NCAA. So Cornell. So did you play all the way through college? Or, did it stop somewhere during college?
No, I played all the way through until they threw me out. But I graduated from Cornell, but I've been thrown out of some places.
Right.
And thankful to have finished. And after I was finished, I actually just went on with my career working in HR and also working per diem at the ASPCA in New York City.
Right.
Until I decided to move down here to Georgia. But
Gotcha.
Basketball never left me because I've been coaching.
You.
Wow, since from the first girl I met with in high school up until 2 years ago when I no longer had anyone show up for tryouts.
Wow. Dedication, deep dedication, commitment, and consistency. And coaching is a beautiful thing, because then, like you said earlier, you learn, when you do that, you learn so many other things, because it's just another perspective. And again, like we always talk about in so many ways, the more perspectives that you can sit in, the more seats you can sit in as far as around the table, or different perspectives, different point of views, the more shoes that you can stand in, even just theoretically and hypothetically, like the better you understand not only the thing you're dealing with, but then life in general. The lessons go much farther than that. So I got one more question to ask you, Marcy, and so when we meet, because I have such an investment to meet everyone here. When we meet, I got one fun question for you. Can we at some point play a game of horse?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
That would be so fun.
Absolutely. that would be fun. But I mean, you've got a height advantage, but I've got some pretty nice outside shots there that I can make. I don't have to always go to the basket because I'm not fooling with anybody in the paint. That's for sure.
Right. No doubt. No, I feel you in that. And horse was always fun to me because it was like, different than one-on-one. It's literally like, all right, so I'm going to take this shot from here. Can you make this same shot the same way I'm doing it? So bet, as they say, bet. Marcy, it's absolutely always a pleasure to talk to you. Always a pleasure. And as always, thank you for joining me. Thank you for joining us this morning. And of course, you're welcome to stay, but I want to affirm you on an amazing day, and it's good to hear your voice.
Thank you so much. It's good to hear your voice as well. And I got an 8:30 Zoom call.
Yes.
And I don't want them to cut me off, but I'm sitting here until this phone rings.
No doubt, Marcy. Well, thank you for always knowing where to come to just get your relax on, your chill on, and your de-stressor before the goddamn Zoom calls and work. Much love, Marcy. Everybody, once again, welcome to the AP Morning Show. I always love hanging out with good people. And as you can see why, because I know some of the dopest people around. And the reason why is because when you set an intention, all it is the law of attraction. Real talk. It's not a fraction, it's a fact. The whole truth, nothing but the truth. You will attract to you what you put out there into the sky blue, which is really not blue. It's just the molecules that look that way. And so by all means, if you'd like to come up to the stage, you know my only goal is to say, hey, or in the words of the way I usually am, hey. I'm gonna get that on a shirt one day, real soon, trust me. Trust and believe. In the midst of the Aaron Hill Sentiments series, hey, you're gonna see that. That's one of my sayings. And so I'm gonna read a couple little things and then we're gonna chop it up with my good peeps, Dayanara. So as you always know, I always like to drop a quote here or there, just something to put some positive thoughts in the air. So check this out. This is always one that I have fun talking about. Morning, Auntie Gina. Here's one I always have fun saying. Stop waiting for ideal circumstances to make a move. There are none. There's only real life with risk, uncertain outcomes, fails, successes, evolution, growth, and learning experiences. What determines your success rate is your ability to accept this, have courage, and move forward. It's time for you to get moving. Your dreams and goals await you. I wrote that on August 8th, 2020. Here's another one. Yesterday. So, yesterday, you tried it, and it didn't work out. You called, but didn't get an answer. You wanted to do it, but didn't make it out of bed. You asked, but you were told no. You negotiated, but didn't close the deal. You were tired, worn out, and overwhelmed. You were rejected and dismissed. You didn't have the energy to smile and be okay. The good news is that this happened in a relative time frame called yesterday, which means if you are reading this, and in this case, listening to this, because my ass is reading it, then guess what? That time has passed. Today is a new day, a new chance to make it happen, to succeed, to turn up the heat, or cool down the fire. Take the new day, new moment, and new opportunity to make it count. Be inspired. You can do it. And the last one I'm going to read for this time is strive to make a person feel understood before you lecture them on what they, quote unquote, need to know. Y'all see I had to do the neck thing. That what you need to know is this. Sometimes that's like, yeah, stop the press, hold up, wait a minute, chill the fuck out. The reason why is because feeling understood is more important than feeling enlightened. And that's something that has been heightened in the last couple years for me. Feeling understood is more important than feeling enlightened. That's something that I was telling a friend the other day. It was probably one of the most significant experiences as far as learning that I've had in these past couple of years when it comes to emotional intelligence. And the reason why is because I'm naturally a problem solver. If you come to me as a friend, as a confidant, as someone that's in need, my brain is going to immediately start computing and saying, how can I help this person to solve this problem? How can I move them from this place to a good place? But sometimes running that race is not the thing to do. It's really just a pace. You just want to pace yourself. And what I mean by pacing is that sometimes people just need you to fucking hear them and not solve their problem. Like, just hear them, just be with them, just mirror back to them and say, oh, okay, so what I'm understanding is this is how you feel. Wow, that must really be tough. Wow, that must really hurt. Wow, I can't believe that. Wow, I can only imagine. Not going straight to, well, this is what I would do, or why? How about this too? Like, that doesn't work all the time. And as a person who naturally, he feels his feelings, and he immediately moves to problem solving, I had to realize that you can't apply that cookie cutter kind of thing to everyone else, and that sometimes if you're giving a person something that you feel they need to know, unfortunately, it won't go down smoothly. Unfortunately, it won't be received in the way that you perceive or the way that you are desiring to give it. And it's not because the information is wrong. It's really just wrong time, wrong place. Right now, you just need to be with the person. And then you also, this is the last thing I realized, you also sometimes need to ask a person if it's okay to move to a place of problem solving. Is it okay if I give you some thoughts about that might help? So I learned a big lesson, and I learned it from practice and listening, in the midst of conversation and when someone was giving me feedback. So always remember that one fact. Strive to make a person feel understood before you lecture them on what they need to know, because feeling understood is more important than feeling enlightened. And once again, I'm going to welcome everybody to the show. If you want to come up to the stage, by all means, please raise your hand and let's keep this conversation going and going and going. Marcy, you got 2 more minutes. I get to have Marcy for 2 more minutes. I get to have Marcy for 2 more minutes. OMG. Did any of those quotes resonate with you, Marcy?
That one where you were just talking about being mindful of giving advice without asking,
right,
is a big one for me. That's part of my career coaching as well, because sometimes we have very hard messages to deliver,
right?
But we have to make sure that our client is receptive to hearing them at that time.
100%. You're so right. So right. So true. So one of the things I want to mention to you all is that on yesterday, I put up a video. I put up a video last night, and the way you can go to this video is if you click on my Instagram link in my bio, look at the very first video. You can even look at it while we're hanging out here. I want you to see this. This was the only time in 2020 I got a chance to get to the beach, and I got a chance to put my feet in the sand, and it made me so happy. And so I took some video of that moment. I got a chance to write in the sand. I got a chance to just listen to the waves and all of that kind of good stuff. And I also had the opportunity from there to, I thought about it. I said, I want to put something with this that really speaks to me, that speaks to this moment. And so what I did was I wrote this quote a while back that was called, "What is Life?" I'm actually looking for it right now. What the hell happened to this thing? I just had it. And so, I know where it is. In my ponderings. Let's go. All right. I'm going to read this to you all, and this is what you're going to hear in the video. I love for you to play the video. I love for you to listen in. Good morning, Brother Ken. Good morning, Radio Shack. Me, Shack Stinnett. Thanks for hanging out, brother, fam. And so this was the quote that I read. If you look at my Instagram, All you got to do is click on my Instagram bio real quick and look at that first video. It's me on the beach. So here's the pondering. This is from my book called Pondering. And this is what you're going to hear in the background of that video, along with my original music, Yellows of Spring. What is life? Life is a collection of moments separated by experiences. Choosing consciously to deeply appreciate and experience those amazing moments is really what actually makes it amazing. Where you intentionally place your focus will determine the lens through which you view your life. Me, I choose to fully accept not only the good moments, but the not so good. Keeping my attitude balanced helps me to appreciate those amazing moments even more. Wow. Real talk, that's what it is like. To the chef. Who is this guy? Because you design your life. You design your purpose. It isn't predetermined. So I'm always, when beautiful things happen in life, I am never surprised, but I'm always amazed. Because life is filled with so many things. And inclusive of that are amazing moments. Take the opportunity to deeply experience and cherish as many of those as you can. And I wrote this on September 6, 2020. Hashtag life is amazing. Hashtag appreciate the little things. Yes, 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 yes. And so once again, I want to welcome y'all, AP Morning Show accountability partners. If you want to come up to the stage, by all means, you know what to do. You can throw up your hand and we can keep this thing going, man. So I want to say a huge good morning to the good brother. Ken, what up, bro? How's it going, bro?
Good, man. How are you this morning?
Man, I'm wonderful, bro. I am wonderful, man. Life is amazing. And like you just heard me reading, bro, I'm trying to take advantage of every single one of these moments, bro, because it's like what they say. It's like the old cliche, but I don't even see it as a cliche. It's really what it is. Life is literally what the fuck you make it, bro. It's what you make it.
Right.
You know what I mean? What's going on with you, bro?
I wanted to give a shout out to my man Radio Shack.
Yo.
I don't know if you've been noticing there's been some Delaware folks falling up in your room.
Nice.
And I'm gonna take full credit for it.
Yeah, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Morning, Radio Shack. Nice to meet you, homie. Thanks for coming through, fam.
I just want to let you know the other day, when I was in the room, you were doing your morning room, I was here. Remember you started, I don't know if you started playing it or somebody talked about it, but that De La Soul Stakes is High.
Yeah.
I have been banging that repeatedly. I can listen to it right now.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
It's one of them Fridays, I'm actually, Shaq, you had something in your email about 10 minutes. Getting some stuff knocked out. It's gonna be a good day. It's gonna be a good week. It's gonna be a good year, bro. Everything is good right now.
It's gonna be a good life.
Yes, yes. 100.
So really quick, not quite sure if you can hear me, but I just wanted to thank you, Aaron, Ken. Like, I'm new to Clubhouse, and this is actually the only thing I've been tuning into just because I need to get into it. And when I spend my time, I want it to be value added. But I do find like this good in the mornings really helps me to keep my day going in a positive. For that, man.
Wow, cool, brother. Appreciate you, man. Thank you so much for that, man. It really means a lot, man. Welcome to the Clubhouse ecosystem, man. It means a whole lot for you to say that this space, you be coming through. And I always, I love that because I'm a proponent of getting into an environment and just sitting back and being a consumer so that you can just consume, and just being an observer and a consumer, really helps you to learn. And then it helps you to understand, like, okay, now that I really understand this environment, then you see what you want to bring to it, what you want to curate and how you fit in, So I don't take that lightly, bro. I just want to tell you, really appreciate that. And I'm glad that this space could be, a space where, yeah, you've been enjoying it, fam.
No doubt. Let's keep it going.
Yes, 100%.
So, Aaron,
yes,
just a quick question, man. I know you get up and you always, in the morning, you really inquire about what everybody else is doing, but I'm curious, what you got on deck, man? I know you got your mugs, still producing your music, but what you got happening?
I appreciate you, man. Thanks so much. Well, the first thing is I'll be tomorrow. I'll be heading out of town for the next 7 days, taking a vacay in the FL, and I'm still gonna be here on Clubhouse, each morning hanging out with the fam. But I got that on deck as far as in the macro. Other than that, bro, man, I'm excited about a few things. Of course, as you know, this morning show, I always talk about it. I'm excited because I've been building up the anticipation to my global audience. And today starts the first increment of letting people actually know. And so today, 10,000 more people will know because I have my email list on. Is going to find out about this today. So I'm excited about the layers and just what's to come. I'm excited about, man, I've definitely released an album recently, The Serenade. That's in my Instagram bio if anybody wants to know about that. What else am I excited about? Man, I'm so excited about life. I'm excited about 2021. I'm excited about the fact that every day I'm just dwelling in deeper self-care and what really keeps me there, getting my meditation in, getting my yoga in, man, getting, my time with the fam here, continuing to build the consulting business, man, with Sherry and all that we're doing there. Man, building out my brand. I'm happy about my daughter, man. I can't believe my damn daughter is about to go to high school. It's so crazy. My baby girl, Aria, is about to go to high school. And I'm excited because
Congratulations, man.
Thanks, man. Thanks, bro. Excited about where she's going with life. Bro, we had a conversation the other day, and for everybody that didn't hear that, just click. In fact, I got to put it in my Instagram bio. It's the only one I forgot to put there yesterday. My podcast, it's going to be in my Instagram bio in a few minutes. In fact, I'm going to do it while we're sitting here. But if you want to get straight to it, the Aaron Hill podcast, you can find it everywhere. And the latest episode, besides this morning show, right before that is me and my daughter. It's called Best Friends, father and daughter, best friends. And so my daughter, we're chopping it up about emotional intelligence and empathy, and she's learning how deep of an empath she is. And now she's excited. She's excited now about communication styles. We started talking the other day about analytical, functional, intuitive, and personal communication styles, and how everybody falls into one of those 4 categories, and it helps you to know how to talk to the people you're working with. And she was like my daughter is the type where she's like, Dad, please send me that YouTube video right away. She's like, I know we can't talk about it in this conversation because we went down the path as far as empathy deep. But she was like, please send me that right away. I want to watch it right away so that our next conversation. And she's 13, so I'm just excited, Ken. I'm excited about life, fam. I'm really excited about life from all angles, bro. Thank you for asking, man.
Listen, man, you know how amazing. I think there's been some, and this is my opinion. I think there's been some real recognition and understanding on how pouring into your kids from your experiences really kind of builds them. At least I know, I would say those who are a little bit older are seeing it, and I think I'm starting to see it in some of the younger generations, folks who have had kids. My kids are 19 and 26. Right. But I really recognize how parenting has taken a different approach. I think, at least from what I've seen, we've kind of evolved into a different kind of parent. Yeah. Just because we see what's happening in the world and preparing our kids in more of an emotional way to be stable, and less focused on some of the more physical attributes and obvious steps or physical steps that we think they should take to lead to success. Success is taking a new definition, from my perspective. So when I hear you, even when I hear that you're proud she's about to go to high school and those kind of conversations, I don't remember having those kinds of conversations when I was younger, or even hearing about those conversations happening in a parent-child relationship. So, congrats to that, man. Congrats.
Thank you, bro. And in fact, I'm gonna tell you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Auntie G.
that word Ken used was perfect. Evolving.
Yes.
Everything.
Yes. That's what it is. You know, it's one of the things I'm most happy about. And thank you for that, Kim, because it's been important to me ever since my daughter was young for her to feel like, yes, I'm here to be a guide to her. Yes, I'm here to be her father. But I'm also here to understand her for her. You know, I'm here to guide her, you know, not dictate to her, you know. And of course, there are times when my guidance would need to come in the form of like, okay, I know you may not understand this, but it's just what I need you to do right now, and then boom, out. But I always keep my daughter clued in with the instruction I'm giving her or the feedback or the opinion. I do stuff with my daughter, like I ask her before I do stuff. Like, you know, when I was younger, you know, I might have someone older than me that will come to me and just, even my mom, like if I was eating something, she would just grab it. Just let me taste this. And I don't do that to my daughter. I ask her first, hey, is it okay? May I have, if I want something, or if I want to do something with her, I'll ask her if it's okay. And what I found with that is that, you know, like you said, evolution, you know, the way I came up, it wasn't any asking as far as opinion. Now, my mom, fortunately, was like one who was really open, and she exposed me to a lot of things. So she didn't like over coddle me or that kind of thing. But yeah, I was told more things than I was asked opinion about, you know. But what I've learned is that parents don't have to feel like their kid will be a threat or won't listen if they approach it that way. I think many parents are afraid that they won't have that authoritative kind of role. But what I've found as a father is that it's exactly the opposite. The older my daughter, you know, even when she was younger, but as the older she's gotten, the more I relate to her in that way, the more cooperative she is, the more she comes to me and is very vulnerable with me and tells me everything, the more she's like, I feel safest with you above anything. I feel like I can talk to you about anything. The more she actually works with me. And I realize it's because if a human being feels that you are shutting down their feelings and just dictating to them, then they'll only do it if they just absolutely have to, but that doesn't grow a nurturing relationship. You know, that lets them know that unless it's your way or the highway, they don't want to come to you. So I've learned the opposite, Ken, and that's what's benefited me in a great deal.
In other words, they ain't gonna tell you shit. That's what that's about.
You know,
right.
Ken, once again, Ken used the perfect word in evolution, because to be honest, parenting had to evolve because society has evolved. Mm-hmm. So I have a son that just turned 21 last weekend.
Right.
And I parent my children different than how I came up. Like, I came up with just a Jamaican moms, and her idea of limiting outside influences was not letting me go hang outside on the block.
Right.
To make sure her values, our family values, were the only ones being instilled in me.
Right.
But fast forward to us as parents, we don't have that option because the internet, social media, all of these other influences are infiltrating our children's lives. So we have to kind of grow with them.
Yep.
We have to guide them more so when, like you said, back when it was our time, my moms would be like, yo, it's because I said so, that's it.
Yeah.
But with me and my kids, I need them to understand why. Because when they're in that situation and I'm not there and they need to make the decision themselves, I need them to really know why they're making the decision, as opposed to just saying, this is what it is.
That's it, 100%.
Us surviving as parents was necessary, because if not, today's society would have eaten our children alive.
100%.
Yeah. The thing is, when you have your kids, you know, you can correct them when one of their knucklehead friends tell them some garbage that you have to give them truth bombs about. But on the internet, there's garbage and everything, and there's like a gazillion of their knucklehead friends coming at them with garbage you have to correct. It's craziness.
And once you continue to hear that same garbage, it starts to sound true.
Exactly. So that's why I love, I love the process of teaching your kids how to think as opposed to what to think. You know, there has never, ever, ever, ever been a time, ever, where I've instructed my kids in any way where the answer to why was simply because I said so. Like, never. Even if it was an explanation where it came down to like, okay, what it is that there's something I know that you don't really know right now. Like, you won't know it. I'll explain to you. We'll keep talking about it. Or here's what it is. Here's why. I'm like you, brother. I'm always like, here's the why. And then what I've noticed from there is it's earned more trust, actually. You know, people don't realize that, you know, when it comes to your children, it's just like anyone else. You know, you earn the trust. You earn the trust because the proof in that is that if you start off as a parent and you are either abusive to your child or neglectful or dismissive, then they won't trust you. You won't actually earn their trust. It'll go the other way because evolution is only geared towards survival. So if your kid has to survive by tuning you out and being rebellious and doing all kinds of things, then that's what will happen in order for them to just fight for their individuality. And so what we're learning as parents is that a better way to actually raise our children is, while we're guiding them and while we have certain things that we have to lean more into than others to get them to do, that it's better to be communicative with our children than not. And so, yes, fam. I just want to do a quick reset. I want to say good morning again to everyone. And Delia T. Sanahara, good morning to you. Good morning. We are hanging.
Good morning.
Yes.
Good morning.
Yes. So yeah, brother Ken, you on your way to work, bro? You at the gym, bro? What's the hangout this morning, fam?
I'm finishing some work. Me and Shaq are working on something,
nice.
Coincidentally. So I'm finishing some stuff so he can review it, and then I'm off to the gym. I'm on this run thing. I'm working on 1.5 miles, 3 days a week. This will be my third day. I know I'm old, but I realize there's a lot of benefit to running, man. So I'm getting there. And the funny thing on that tape, last night my son and I were in the gym, and remember I was telling you, I'm on the downslope, he's on the upslope.
Right.
And last night we were doing legs, and he actually did more weight than me. It took him, everything, because, trying to beat his father is a goal, right?
Yeah.
Doing more than your pop is one of them things that you like, yo, I did it. I'm there.
Yeah.
He beat me. We were doing some legs. He could barely walk out the gym, but he beat me. You know what I mean? So I celebrated, bought him a steak, cooked him up a steak. He was feeling good about it. So I'm going back in the gym. I got to keep ahead of him. I got to keep that edge up. I know I'm going to lose it eventually, but at least he'll win while I lose, and I'm cool with that.
I love that, Ken. That's like a bonding also, that you guys take time and have that little competition, and that's that male thing with father and son. I just love that stuff. I like hearing y'all stories in the morning.
Right. I'm going to tell you, I honestly feel like he's becoming my best friend.
Wow.
Just because, and you hear stuff like that all the time. You hear those stories and you see those relationships, but from the outside, you don't even know the real emotional connection, the nuances that go into it. And a 19-year-old rarely, in my experience, because I had a 19-year-old daughter, rarely comes to me and says, "Hey, let's go do this," and not, just because I want to with you. My daughter may have did it more than he did, but it was still rare. But that boy will come down to the office every day and say, "Hey, what time we going to the gym?"
I love it. I love it, bro.
And I don't care what's on my schedule.
Right.
I'm like, we going. Let's go. We got to go at 7:30, 8:30. We were in there one night, and the lady came over and said, y'all got to leave. And we didn't realize they had kicked everybody out but us.
Wow.
Like, we're the only people in the gym. We had our headphones on, right? So there's all kinds of stuff, like we communicate without talking in the gym. Like, there are all these little things that have been created because of that.
Right.
And it just draws us closer. And, he starts speaking to me about his personal experiences with his friends. And I can deliver advice, like you said, from a guide perspective. Yeah. And not necessarily from authority. But I've also recognized he respects my authority too because on the exercise, he knows it's out of love, and there's no punitive damages anymore. Your choices are yours, bro, and I'm gonna give you guidance. But when you stumble, I'm gonna be there to hold you.
Right.
I'm gonna whisper in your ear, listen, boy. Listen,
right.
What to do, but
listen
you took
here.
your own road. Yeah, so, but yeah, I love it. It really is the highlight of my day.
Bro, let me tell you, the thing about that for me is like, man, I love the way you explain it, because again, it continues to explain and demonstrate and echo those same sentiments. It's like the way that you get your child to like really, really cooperate in the way where it's not so much of a resistance is to be able to show that other side of the coin, because the more they see that you really care about their interests and that kind of thing, the more they trust you. So then when you tell them things that they don't quite understand at the time or in the moment or what have you, they lean in a different way. They lean in a way where it's like, okay, one thing I can write off of this is that my parent they're not trying to completely take away my individuality or my expression. Like, I'm still seen, I'm still understood. And while being understood, this is what they're telling me. This is what I'm working with. This is where, they are. So they lean in a bit more when it comes to trust. And again, Ken, this literally echoes what I just read. It literally echoes, let me see if I can go back to it again. This literally echoes the quote that I just read. And it is pretty much that, let's see. Okay, I lost it. It's pretty much the my concept of like feeling understood is more important than feeling enlightened. Same thing with our children. Like, if they, yeah, what'd you say, bro?
I'm sorry. I was echoing your sentiment, and if you just give me 30 seconds, I just want to share something I'm proud of, and I'll back down.
You got it.
So, my son started trading stocks when he was 16. He kind of taught himself, and as you do it, I hear you empower your children to push for their dreams. But last night we had a moment where I'm sure you might be aware of all the stuff going on with GameStop and the stock being shorted by these organizations. And I looked at him and I said, so what's really going on? There was a guy on CNN. He's 19.
Yeah.
This boy literally broke down for me what the CEO of Robinhood was not telling you.
What?
Listen, that's when I realized our relationship had transitioned.
Wow.
He literally broke down why they stopped the trading, why they allowed the selling, how Robinhood makes money, why Citadel literally halted it. Like, it was eye-opening for me, sobering for me, because I realized everything that I had poured into him had blossomed into somebody who has his own opinion, his own goal, his own direction, and can meet me on a level that was not just father and son. So yeah, that was just powerful for me. So I just wanted to share that.
Bro, thank you for sharing that, man.
Can you have him explain it to me? Because I was completely lost. I've been reading. I'm like, what happened? I don't get it.
So real quick, there's this thing called shorting a stock, where you are, if you understand that, where you're betting that the stock will go down. These large hedge funds, they make a lot of their money by shorting the stock. They put millions of dollars in these failing companies that they're going to fail. And when the consumers see that these companies are shorting the stock, they don't buy the stock, because they think the hedge funds have the inside information or the knowledge. So they literally run these companies out of business by shorting the stock in these high volumes. Whereas this group called Wall Street Bankers or something in Reddit, they literally organized quietly, I want to say maybe 20 or 30,000 people to start buying the stock all at once. Now, when there's a stock purchase in that kind of volume, it sends the signal to the market that the stock is now valuable. So everybody starts buying it. The problem is those Wall Street hedge funds bet that it was going to drop in price, not increase in price. And when you short a stock, the more it goes up, the more money you lose. So they were spending all their money trying to get out of the stock, because they literally make millions of dollars by shorting stocks like BlackBerry. These companies that just aren't doing really well, they keep them from doing well because they send a signal that they're not going to do well because the big boys are shorting them. Well, when these guys started buying, and drove the stock price up and ran these hedge funds almost out, a couple of them did go out of business. But what he told me was, the way Robinhood makes money is that when you buy a stock, let's say you got Robinhood on your phone, and the stock purchase you see is $6, you're actually not getting it at $6. You're getting it at like $6.001 or something like that. And the company like Citadel and these large hedge funds, they're the ones that are selling it to you for that $6.001. So this percentage of a penny is happening hundreds of millions of times on these trades. Well, Citadel was one of those companies that was shorting GameStop. So on one end, Robinhood is making them money by allowing them to purchase stock or purchasing stock through them. But on the other side, they're losing money because there's this rogue group of people who are buying it and shooting the price up. So that's why, because Citadel is working directly with Robinhood, they said, we're not going to take any more buys from you. And when they told Robinhood that, Robinhood had to freeze all buying because Citadel would not process the buy, because that's how Robinhood makes money. The CEO will never tell you that. They'll give you all this stuff about market share and investment and having to meet our financial goals. And I was listening to him. I was like, this don't sound right, man. And when he broke it down to me, I was like, damn. But then I felt good that he could understand it.
Oh, that's awesome. That does make sense, because I heard Elon Musk really got in behind it. So I thank you for explaining that, because I was reading. I was like, I don't have time to do all this research right here. I just need to know what happened. Thank you.
There it is.
My son and my nieces got in on some of that action too, so I'm proud of them.
Yeah. My son explained it to me last night as well. But the funny thing is, speaking of parenting again, we text a lot now. And that's when you know you're getting closer with your kids. Because like I said, mine's is 21. And when they're texting you about things going on in their lives and your life, and you're more like being friends, that's when you know that you reach that next step. So just thinking about that right now, he definitely was giving me all that information, because I was lost as well about all that. So, yeah, man.
Yeah, that's powerful. Ken, thanks so much for sharing that, bro. Because,
yes, sir.
Yeah, all I heard the whole time you were sharing that was like, wow, stalemate. Like they're putting these companies in stalemates and using mirages to do that shit. But like in this real strategic financial way, that's crazy, bro. That's crazy. And yeah, so thanks for sharing that. And also, like, wow, yeah, your son, yep. Like I can understand what that felt like as a father, because when your son break down something like that to you, like, okay, all right, so I am well aware of, like you said, what kind of relationship we have here. So kudos. And always, Ken, always good to talk to you, bro. Always good to talk to you. Hope you have an amazing day as we continue to hang around. Everybody, I just want to quickly reset the room. Welcome to the AP Morning Show. We stand here as accountability partners every single morning. And so one of the things that we've been doing, just to remind you, if you have not come through, is that during this time around the 9 o'clock hour, we have a concept called Segment with Sherry, where we hang out, we talk about Clubhouse updates, review the Clubhouse Town Hall on Mondays, and other days we talk about updates, we talk about creative brand strategy. Yesterday we talked about the difference between the verts, whether you're an intro, an extra, or an amber. And we had a fun conversation. If y'all weren't here yesterday, OMG. Don't worry. Go back and look at the FB live or the YT or on my podcast. You'll be able to hear the whole convo. I think we found out almost where everybody was, what kind of vert they were. And so, in fact, you know what? I got some more from that I also needed to share too. Maybe I'll share a little bit of that today. But at any rate, Segment with Sherry. Everybody, let's say good morning to Sherry Goodall. Good morning, Sherry. Good morning.
Good morning, Sherry.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. What's happening?
What's happening? I can't wait for that shirt. I promise you, Sherry. I cannot wait.
Well, what's happening?
But okay, yeah, no, it's not what's happening. It's what's happening. You know, you gotta act that. Yes, ma'am.
Cannot wait for the shirt. You gonna put that on the shirt, right?
Show.
What'd you say, Auntie?
I know, right?
I said I used to love that show.
Me too. Me too.
Yeah. Oh, and I also want to say good morning to Charlene. Brother T, thanks for hanging out. If you want to come up to the stage, by all means, all you got to do is raise your hand. Sherry, good morning. Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Hill. How are you?
Pretty good. Good in the hood. Still sitting here wishing it could. Anyway, yeah.
Wake and bake, baby. Wake and bake.
You know it. Let's say,
Auntie, I got your info. I'm gonna hit you up.
Good, cause I saved you on my phone, so I'm always on airplane mode, so you can always text me though if you got an iPhone.
Cool beans.
100%. So, yesterday we were talking about those verts. We got into intro, extro, amber. We got into Gerald, Eddie. The one that started with the P. We were everywhere yesterday. All the verts. Right. We were everywhere yesterday with the verts. So yeah, we found out we were ambiverts. Like most of us in here found out we were ambiverts yesterday, which is somewhere halfway in between when you're the kind of person where you appreciate being with people and building, but then you also need your alone time. And if you throw a party or if you're in the midst of a live environment, it's really common for you to step away for a few or two or an hour or so. And so we were having fun talking about that. Did those revelations just keep rolling out for you yesterday? Like, oh my gosh, I really am Amber, and this all makes sense.
Yeah, it did. It definitely did. Shout out to my friend Charlene in the room. This is her first time to the AP morning show.
Hey, Charlene.
So welcome.
Morning,
yes,
Charlene.
Morning, Charlene.
Thanks for welcoming her.
Yes.
One of the things she and I have talked about is that I'm good for sticking my head in the sand sometimes.
Right.
So yeah, it's definitely an ambivert thing, and I hadn't thought about that until we really unfolded it yesterday.
Right, 100%. So one of the things that I was thinking about and brainstorming with this subject as we kicked it off at the top of the week segment with Sherry, and we got our Monday recap in Town Hall. You all can look forward to that every single Monday, again around the 9 o'clock hour. Town Hall recap. We talk to you about the updates with Clubhouse, all the new things, the things to look out for, new functions that you want to use. We talk about etiquette things, all kinds of things. And we chop it up about that. Wednesdays, brand strategy, creative brand strategy, because on Wednesdays at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Sherry and I have a room that's here on Clubhouse that's called The Hot Seat, Creative Brand Strategy Sessions. And it's where we do power sessions with people, 15 minutes at a time, and we go deep, a very, very deep dive in a short time where we give you so many different ideas for your brand. We answer your questions. And basically we do a smaller version of what we do in a larger fashion through our consulting services. And so we help build brands and give them creative strategy, work with them, build formulas, all kinds of good stuff. So by all means, you can DM us if you have any kind of things that you're trying to work on with your brand, trying to figure out. We both have been doing this individually for years, and now here we brought it together in the form of a consulting business together. So that's every Wednesday. So Fridays, I wanted to start having Wild Card Fridays on segment with Sherry, and that's just where...
Oh God, should I be scared?
It sounds scary to me too, Sherry.
Listen, sir.
Right.
What are we talking about?
Right. So here's the thing about it. I don't actually have the subject right now. What the wild card is the wild card that's on Sherry's mind, meaning that what is the one most out there thing? It could be the TV show. It could be, I remember you were checking out the, what was it? Ready for Love joint. It could be whatever. Wild Card Fridays, just what is on your mind? It doesn't matter what topic, because as creatives, and of course just as people, it's always something we focus on, but definitely as far as creatives and then productive creators, it could be anything from a financial thing to a TV show to I just need to take a fucking walk. I just realized the power of a damn walk again. So Wild Card Fridays, where you at, Sherry? What you thinking about this day?
Okay. Talk about putting you on the spot.
I know, right?
Well,
it could be life though. It don't even have to be this day.
Thing is how I just woke up. Let's be real.
That's how Aaron
Hey, tell us about your dream. Tell us about your dream. That's it.
Oh no, will not be in my dream.
I'm just kidding.
They're private.
Really
no,
not.
I'm just kidding. So okay, I know, Auntie Gina. I heard you. Okay, so off the break, what's on my mind in this moment, I have to finish up pulling my information together for taxes and get it over to my accountant. But one of the things, and this probably, nobody cares about this but me, but I'm going to tell you.
Why?
So
well, I bet you I do.
This,
I bet you I do.
No, I have this business bank account, which was really set up. The account is called Aslo, the bank is, and they were literally set up for online businesses. And it's a beautiful concept. It was a startup bank. I've had the account for like almost 4 years now, and the bank just announced they're closing. So that part.
Wow.
So it's closing at the end of March, and they've given us a list of other banks that really are set up for startups, entrepreneurs, tech companies, etc.
Right.
That being said, one of the banks that they have recommended, and those banks know that we're going to transfer accounts to them, so they're giving us incentives and things like that. But one of them is set up for a budgeting style called Profit First. I'm just curious if anybody else in the room has ever heard of Profit First.
I've heard of it.
Okay, dope. So currently, I have two business bank accounts, one with Aslo and one with a brick and mortar, because my accountant threatened to kill me if I didn't get one with the brick and mortar. She was like, she was not having it. So anywho, I'm seriously contemplating either moving the funds that I have to the brick and mortar temporarily, and then splitting up some of that money and putting it into the one of the online banking ones that is set up for Profit First.
Okay.
And Ken, jump in if you're familiar with this, but the way Profit First works, as business owners, we typically have, how can I say this? As business owners, most of us are doing what they call bank balance accounting, where every day you're looking at your bank balance and you're like, okay, that's how much money I have.
Right,
and so,
right.
You know, especially when you're first starting out. Yes. So what Profit First talks about is how, you know, you're checking your banking account balance, and it might say you have, I don't know, hypothetical numbers, $10 in there. But at the end of the year, your accountant is saying, oh yeah, you made like $40,000. And you're thinking, where? Because I don't see none of it, right?
Right.
So what's happening is, in traditional accounting, we're paying everybody else. We're paying all the bills, and then we're looking for our profit. In Profit First, what they teach you is to take your profit off the top, and then you segment out how your other things are being paid, but it still leaves you with profit, including like quarterly payouts.
Gotcha.
So it's a really smart way to do it, and now I'm coming full circle with this.
Okay.
There's an app called YNAB, which stands for You Need a Budget.
Right.
And YNAB allows you to set up your buckets the way that Profit First suggests that you do it.
Okay.
So that being said, all of that coming together is that I'm seriously thinking, because most banks and most accountants don't operate in a Profit First method, to the point that the founder of Profit First, which is, by the way, a book, he actually has certified accountants that he endorses that know the operating system. But for a bank to actually understand it and do it is great, because what you do is you set up all these sub accounts, and it's pretty darn amazing the way, and it works. It allows you to have money in your pocket and still money for operating expenses.
Yeah,
it works when you work it.
No, I'm familiar with it. I actually was using it, not realizing that I was using it until I got the audio book Profit First, and then just a few small tweaks. You know, when you have something you do and now somebody puts a structure around it, you'd be like, oh yeah. So it definitely works, and it actually motivates you to continue making money, because you have a real clear understanding, because you benefit directly when you get a job done, but you also recognize you're managing your business in a way that things are still being paid.
Yes. So that's something I really want to master this year. I mean, I started it last year, but I want to master it this year, and I want to be able to share it with others, because I just don't think that as entrepreneurs that we should or have to live check to check.
Right.
Even though sometimes we hit lows, we know what it is.
Right.
But you know.
Let me ask you a question. Is this system like a program where you input numbers? You know, is it that kind of thing? Give me a little bit more as far as the practical usage of it. Like, how does day-to-day usage look with it, or planning initially look with it?
So the first thing that they teach you is that right off the bat, you take 50% of whatever money you bring in.
Got it.
Which most of the time we're scared to take that kind of money because you're like, oh my God, 50%, but I still got to pay, you know, the rent for the office and this, that, and the third.
And you're always told to put back into the business.
Yes, but it still allows you to put back into the business. And once you really start working it, you start to realize that you're still paying those bills. You're just making sure that you get paid first. And the founder of the book actually tells a story in the beginning where he talks about how, you know, he was strapped for money and he was sitting down at the kitchen table with his family, and his daughter, who was a small child at the time, went and grabbed her piggy bank and was like, here, Daddy, I'll help you. And it just broke his heart because he was like, you know, I got to make this business work.
Right.
And at the time that I found Profit First, that's where I was. So I could relate.
Right. I definitely feel you on that. So, you know, one more time, just as a quick recap, give the name of the program again, and and I guess information as far as how people can get to it.
Yeah, so it's a book, and they do have the audio book. I recommend the audio book, but, you know, I have the hard copy as well, and it's called Profit First. The author is Mike Michaelwitz. I know you can order it on Amazon. If you go to a bookstore like a Barnes & Nobles, they generally have to order it for you. So I think you're better off getting it on Amazon.
Okay. And then, if you could, I think it'd be a good idea to grab a pic at some point and just make an Instagram post about it, just in general for the people here, but just in general as well. And everybody, you could possibly, you know, you could refer there to look at it. Sherry, today, Beating with Sherry. What's going on Beating with Sherry?
Well, today is Friday, so today we talk all things marketing.
Yes.
Favorite subject. So, you know, we have some regular segments that we're building in. Thank you for jumping in with me yesterday. It was a great show. Mm-hmm. And, we're talking marketing. So I really want to touch on the things that people ask most often when it comes to branding. So,
Perfect.
If you're on Clubhouse, please support us. Me.
Yes.
I will go to support, but I doubt that I will have anything to offer, but I will be there to support.
Love it.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yep, because that's an offering right there. Presence is an offering by itself. Sherry, tell everybody.
I'm sorry. What time is the?
Yep, I was just going to say, Sherry, tell everybody the details. Details, what time and where?
Sure. So the room is at 11:30. I am live streaming here on Clubhouse. You can also watch it on Facebook and YouTube, and links to that are in my bio on Instagram. And we're Monday through Friday, the daily show, Beating with Sherry. Charlene has actually been a guest on Beating with Sherry, so she'll be coming up on my podcast this season, and you'll catch her episode in February because can I say this real quick, Aaron?
No doubt.
Charlene actually is the co-author of a new Black History book that is coming out and will be going into schools across the country.
I'm excited about that already.
Wonderful. Amazing. Yes, everybody. So definitely tune in. Beating with Sherry every day, Monday through Friday, 11:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, here on Clubhouse, as well as Facebook and YouTube as well. Beating with Sherry, stringing together the gems of life, one bead at a time. And I say that proudly because I came up with that line.
And Ken, you got to be a guest on my show for sure, and Auntie Gina too.
Well, that's perfect because go ahead, Auntie Gina. I'm sorry.
Oh no, I was just saying, okay. I don't know. Okay.
I know we gotta talk about them cookies. And Ken, you already
I can do that all day.
Yeah. And listen, Fridays is perfect because I get my hair cut on Thursdays. You ain't gonna have me on Facebook Live without no haircut. That's great.
Love it.
100%. Thank you so much, Sherry, and everybody. By all means, let's continue to support. I'm excited about this, and this is our first full week of this new piece that I put here, this new concept segment with Sherry. Sherry, that was fun because I knew you were gonna feel put on the spot. I was like, yeah, she'll have a wild card though. It'll come up because it's just whatever the hell is on your mind right now. So we're looking forward to bringing you all value every week from that around this 9 o'clock time for about 10 minutes. Segment with Sherry, and then from here at 11:30 Eastern Standard Time, join Sherry for Beating with Sherry. Everybody, once again, I want to reset the room and say hello to you, and you too. By all means, if you like to ping someone in to join us on this fun experience, you can do that too, for sure. And so I want to read a couple more quotes, and then I want to say what's up again to the brother Radio Shack, hang out for a few. And so I'm going to give you a few of these. Everybody that's joining me on FB, hello. Sorry, I can't see y'all comments. Let me see if I can come over real quick and see what the yap is about, because I usually do this through a program where you can see, but that program always screws up. So let me see who's here. Hey, what's going up, fam? Rich, Tyrone.
Your Facebook things yesterday, and I thought they were kind of cool. I was like, oh my gosh, now I can see what you look like while you're talking.
Right.
So I can picture it in my head.
100%. So everybody, thank you all, everybody who's on Facebook, thank you for hanging out. And so I'm gonna read you a couple more quotes. Here we go. A couple more originals for you. In 10, let's see where we go from here. Be a happy seed planter, not a stressed out gardener. Thanks, Yusef, for hanging out.
Me.
Yes. People will listen when and if they're ready. Either way, you did your part, right? Hashtag plant seeds, hashtag giver, hashtag stress free. Be a happy seed planter, not a stressed out gardener. Here's another one. Intense issues need to be met with intense solutions that match the energy. It's the only way that an issue can really be penetrated. How to become a genius. Listen twice as much as you talk. Then, before you talk, listen once more. Just listen once more. Here's one more for you. Check this out. Don't feel guilty about not being able to do something for someone if they were the ones that waited to the last damn minute to communicate it with you. And especially if you bring it to their attention and they still get an attitude because of what they want you to do for them. What that means is that they couldn't give a shit about your time, your schedule, or what's important to you, and equally, you have the right not to care about their selfish needs either. If they act differently than you act differently. Self-care first, especially when nobody else cares. And so on that tip, everybody, let's open up our microphones one more time. Let's say a huge good morning to the brother Radio Shack, me Shack Stinnett. Yo, where you at? Me Shack, where you at?
I'm right here, bro.
Where you at? Me Shack, where you at?
Enjoying the vibration. Can y'all hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Oh, there it is, man. Listen, again, just enjoying this whole energy this morning. It's good to be able to talk to like-minded people. So
yes,
just getting news and all that, and just taking it in. You know, being real. Like I said, I'm new to Clubhouse. I actually have a digital marketing company. I'm located in Delaware.
but I'm originally from the Bronx, New York. You know what I'm saying? So
100.
I hear that in your voice.
Right.
There you go.
And got the good.
Well, maybe that big Yankee hat on my logo.
I was just about to say, I was looking at the good NY. Oh, I love it, fam. I love it. So
really,
yeah.
Quick, I just want to touch on that whole, I'm not used to putting my full government name out there. So
right.
when this whole Clubhouse thing,
right,
and me putting the whole Meshack Stennis, so even hearing you say that and all that is funny to me. So, man, but yeah, Meshack Stennis is what it is, man. Through the fire, we here.
Yes, sir. 100, bro. We are here. And, bro, I've been appreciating you being here, not only this morning, bro, but I've been so grateful to you for hanging out with us in the way that you have, bro. I've been seeing you hang out in the audience, and I always just love when people just stop by and just really soak in the vibes. And speaking of soaking it in, I want to once again say good morning to Yusef, Coco, and of course JD. Come through. Y'all know you can come to the stage if you would like to. Just give a wave, and if not, you just want to hang out and listen in, because for many people, this is their favorite new radio morning show. And of course, I'm happy about that. And so, yeah, so I've been enjoying you, bro, just hanging out. And yeah, man. And so we were chopping it up earlier about a few things, and shout out, good brother Kim Briscoe for bringing in the good fam. And bro, I've been just kind of hanging out here, and immediately, I always look for things that connect me between myself and a person, like that point of connection. I find it in everybody that I meet. So as soon as I see Chief Brand Strategist, Mind's Brand Management, I'm already like, boom, that's where he and I connect already. I've been using the term creative content strategist for years, and then recently changed it to even creative brand strategist, and using that, especially as we've gone into our consulting business and that kind of thing, myself and Sherry. And anytime I'm sitting down and talking to people, whether it's somebody that I'm working with or whether it's somebody I'm just talking to about like the business, and by business, I don't even just mean money, I mean just like minding my business, which is just, I love helping people. So even if I'm just talking about times where I'm helping people, and even as I do every day and on every platform, y'all can see me doing my chopping it up with Aaron Hill, or Gems, which is giving everyone my science, and I'm just hanging out with people, pouring as much as I can. I always tell people that beyond the tools, we work in mindset strategy, like above everything, because mindset is the piece. It's not the tools. It's the mindset that we find ourselves working with people in. So, bro, as soon as I saw that, I was like, bing, point of connection, bro. Mindset, bro. What for you? Yeah. What'd you say? Go ahead.
I thought it was a light skin connection.
Right.
Mindset is key too.
Yeah. Right, fam. Right.
Hey, and if I could just add one more thing before I, get up out of here.
No doubt.
I don't know how you guys know Kenny personally from business, so I follow him in here. He put me on the Clubhouse.
Right.
Like I said, I'm not from Delaware, but in the state of Delaware, Kenny is the key resource. It goes past Delaware, bro. And if y'all are doing anything that you feel you need any kind of support or assistance, whether it be from web development, graphic design, marketing strategy, anything, Ken is the dude to hit up, man. And I'm going to say that honestly. So I want to get that quick plug.
100, bro.
I appreciate it, man. Come on, I appreciate it.
No doubt, fam. And I definitely
mad humble too. You heard I appreciate it. He came in mad humble.
So Ken is one of the things that we've really enjoyed with Ken is, like, I guess Ken we've known each other now for maybe 2 weeks now, maybe 3, maybe that's probably 3.
It's almost a month. It's been about 3 weeks.
About 3 weeks now. Yeah, and so ever since the brother Ken and I met, he met in the same way like how a lot of people flow through here. They see the word accountability, they love the concept, they come in, they hear the music, they feel a good vibe, they feel the people. And then from there, that's the sequel. Like, cats just stay around. And so what we found immediately was that we just had immediate connection as positive brothers, just like, and then not too far from each other, And then we start talking about business and that kind of thing. Before you know it, it was like boom. So yeah, bro, I can definitely affirm that. And what we've been enjoying here is all the things that Ken has been doing, you know, as far as the Sales Funnel Saturday and then just the gems, man, that he dropped. So yeah, bro, we can definitely affirm that, man. Ken is a gem to the fam. Thanks for that, man.
All of this recorded, like all this I need recorded. It's gonna be my ringtone.
Hey, bro. There it is, bro. There it is.
Aaron, when are we gonna do that thing where I send cookies out and everybody, we have a group while everybody has partaken?
Oh yeah, I tell you what, this is what I'm gonna do, Auntie G. As soon as I finish, I keep saying I'm gonna do it, but I be having meetings back to back. But as soon as we finish, I am going to text you. We're gonna jump on the horn, as they say. We're gonna jump on the horn. We'll chop it up all about it, because that's gonna be fun.
Yo, Aaron, I even followed you on TikTok, and I wrote something in one of your notes. I said, "Hey, follow me back."
I love it, Auntie G. Thank you. Hey, yo, Radio Shack, before you roll up out, bro, one thing real quick, man. On the mindset piece, you know, we'll chop it up more further. But again, I love just hearing just gems from each people, you know, each person, and just how they think about things. When it comes to mindset, bro, and being a mindset strategist, you know, how would you sum it up as far as, you know, mindset and how you help people?
I think me personally, what I do for my clients is I really try to look at the individual basis.
Right.
So I try to get, before we even start, so like, for example, my social media accounts that I manage, before I even start my day one post, I'm going to have a session with them where I understand their vibration.
Right.
They know that they are, because then that'll put me into their mindset and will allow me to distribute their message to everybody else. So mindset is always with everything in life. I mean, having the right mindset just helps out with business. Because it's time when my mindset keeps me going. Because when I look at the numbers and the issues and everything else, I'm like, this don't make sense.
Right.
But right mindset says, yes, it does. It's that light at the end that we're looking for right now, that roadblock that's right in front of us. So mindset is key to everything in life, bro.
100%, fam. 100. And I feel that's how I feel, bro. And that's why I love hearing other people share from their perspective, because the truth of the matter is that, like En Vogue said, free your mind and the rest will goddamn follow. It's all about mindset. 3 mindsets of generosity. Check this out. Unselfishly seeing and sharing with someone, having empathy, compassion, and kindness to share out of the desire to see the person happy and with good well-being. Not obligatory or not overly attached in return. Beneficial. These are the 3 mindsets of how we can give. And check this out. Most people don't realize that there's 3 ways that we can give, and that 2 are actually non-beneficial, even though they come from the mindset of generosity. That first one was good. Unselfishly seeing and sharing with someone, having empathy, compassion, and kindness to share out of desire to see them happy and with good well-being. But the second, giving because we feel like we don't deserve, or giving generously out of self-pity, is non-beneficial. Here's a third one, giving out of obligation or fear, non-beneficial. Of these 3 mindsets, it's important to monitor and be honest with oneself about the source of the generosity when being generous, to make sure it's coming from a healthy as opposed to unhealthy place. Generosity can bring us a lot of joy, fulfillment, and happiness, but it depends on what mindset it comes from. This is something I wrote on March 20th, 2020. I'm about to put it up on my Instagram. You will see it as the very next post while you're hanging out here. The 3 mindsets of generosity. Bro, it's good to catch up with you. It's good to meet you. Radio Shack, thanks for hanging out, brother. By all means, bro, you know where your family is. We're here to stand in accountability with you on the things that you have as goals in life, bro. Thanks for stopping through.
Thank you. You already know. Peace and blessings. Hope everybody has a great weekend.
100, fam. You too. Thanks for coming through. And everybody, once again, thanks for hanging out. The man with the voice, Yusef T. Thank y'all for hanging out. By all means, if you'd like to come up, you know what to do. Hit the wave, come through. And if not, you want to just keep hanging out, this in the background, by all means. Everybody, let's open our microphone one more time. We got to say good morning to you, Auntie Gina. Everybody open up your microphone, say good morning to Auntie Gina. Truth for life. Truth for life.
Good morning.
Truth for life.
Good.
Yes. You sounded like you're enjoying and happy already, Auntie G. I don't think I've ever heard you sing like that, Auntie G. I felt that.
I'm always happy.
Yes.
I'm always happy. Like, I will find anything to be happy about.
Right.
Even in stressful situations, I will find that one thing that'll make me happy, and I'll be good.
Yes. Whew. I'm telling you, we need so many people like that in this world. We need so many more people to find a reason to be happy. OMG. Auntie G, have you always been...
My cookies do help.
Right. Because Auntie Gina's cookies will make you...
High as a giraffe's pussy.
Yep, and the world will know very soon, and the world has already found out through the people that she helps out every single day. Auntie G, how did you tone down that honey the other day, like that, you know, the one you took a swig of? Like, did you have to go back and like dilute it or something?
Oh no, I just sent it out.
Oh shit!
I said, the person may only need a half a teaspoon tops. Do not give more than that, and give plenty of water.
Oh my God, that right there, yes. Auntie G was telling us about, some honey that she was making. She is a cancer sign that helps people with cancer do the form of dealing with their stress and dealing with their pain with edibles. She's a cannabis connoisseur. And so she was talking about some honey that she had whipped up, and she said when she took one like swipe of this, she was like, she was high as a giraffe's pussy.
with my finger, too. It wasn't even a teaspoon. I had no business. And then I was looking, oh yeah, I went too far. And I made those peanut butter pecan cookies, so yeah, I had to taste those too. So
OMG.
Yeah. One of them days. I got a lot done though. I'm a clean and fool when I'm like that.
Yes. And look, and it works for me just like it works for you too, Auntie G. Like, you know, when I got some hydroglycerin up in me, I could work for 10 hours straight. I got all the ideas in the world, and I'm that way too, minus it. But like, man, you talking about some extra level of go get 'em.
And I think I get so high in the stratosphere, I get in touch with my higher self a little bit easier. So I get some real good ideas too.
There it is. Come up with some of your best shit. You be like, damn, I never thought about it. You be figuring out the keys to life. You be like, I see what Einstein. Oh, I get this shit now.
Yes. Exactly. I'm like, I gotta write this down or I'm
Right. Now let me tell you something. I was talking about this the other day, Auntie G, and you know, the one culprit of like, okay, when it comes to edible like candy, like when it comes to like gummies or lollipops or these things, OMG, Auntie G, those are one of those places where it's like, it's once again, it's like you don't want to eat much, because especially if you know it's potent or if you think it's potent, but at the same time, like, how can you really just eat one gummy bear, you know? So I feel like
it's so good,
right? So I feel like there has to be so many stories of people who've been higher than a kite from candy edibles where they just ate too much, and it was just like, yo, I just did not know how each one of these little damn things, how potent each one of these damn things were.
I do. I have a brother that willingly supplies me these candies and things, and sometimes he'll be like, look, Gina, just take one of those. I'm telling you, just take one. And I'll be like, yeah, whatever. You know, like people do with my cookies when I say, look, only eat half.
Only eat half.
You can have more, but only eat half. If you eat more than that, you're going to be saying, I wish I would have listened.
You're like, if you eat any more of that, you are on your own. You cannot say that it didn't come with directions and instructions.
I eat half, and I eat them all the time, okay? So if I'm only eating half, and I'm telling you to eat half, I don't care how good the cookie is.
Right.
And even if you don't feel it in an hour,
you will.
Eat the other half.
Right, there you go. Because for everybody that's here and in the audience, those of y'all weren't here the other day when I told about my buddy who got stuck in the 7-Eleven parking lot for like 3 hours, because
that is hilarious.
he ate an edible, and he had never eaten an edible before. So, and he's a big guy, about 6'5", you know, and he vapes and that kind of thing. He smokes, you know. So he ate an edible, and about an hour later, I'm like, "How you feel, bro?" He's like, "Oh man, I'm good. So I'm like, "All right, cool." And he's about to head out, and he like, "Man, don't worry about it, man. You know, I'm a big guy. You know, it's probably just my tolerance. You know, my system ain't no big thing, man. You know, it just don't do the same for everybody." I'm like, "Yeah, you're right." So I'm like, "You want another one, bro?" He's like, "Yeah, I'll take another. Ain't no problem." And that was at RTG. That was it. That was the other half of the cookie right there.
Oh no.
Y'all, he left my house. His drive home is only like 40 minutes. He drove 10 minutes and then pulled into a 7-Eleven parking lot, and he could not get out of that parking lot for 2 hours for the next 2.5 hours.
So he had some nice meditation time.
He had some nice meditation time. And the funny thing on TG is he's a meditator too. So he was like, "Man, I was doing everything, man. I was meditating, I was drinking water, I was slapping myself in the face, I was turning up the radio." He was like, "Man,
yeah, none of that works." Let me tell you my worst story.
Yeah. I
was making brownies.
Right.
This day. I used to make these like brownie pop things, like you know, and they were super duper very strong. That's all I can say.
Right.
And so I'm licking the batter, which you shouldn't do.
Step number 1,
and
don't
then,
lick the batter.
Right. And then I have to have the first one that comes out of the oven because it's fresh.
Right. Got to get the first fresh
one. I ate one of those, and then I said, "Well, let me try the ones that cool down too."
Oh.
Let me tell you, I was so. Here's the worst part: you get so high you can't do anything. I was so high I threw up, and it didn't matter. It doesn't matter if you throw up when you're on weed because it's already all up in your system.
Right.
You can't throw it up like alcohol and you feel better.
Right.
You don't feel better. You still feel dizzy. You still gotta lay down. You're still sweating.
Right.
Yeah, I'm never doing that shit again. Ever.
You know how you be like so high, it like curves back around to being just sober enough to being sick and tired of being high? Like...
No, that was not the case. I had to sleep that one off and woke up high for the whole half
Oh
the
my God.
So, yeah.
But I know you had one moment in there where you was just like, "Enough already, God damn it, can we come down?" Like, shit.
I just laid down and said, "Please sleep. Please go to sleep. Please." I'm never doing that again. It was yeah.
God.
That was,
Yeah,
I'll
I feel
never
you.
do that again.
We have all had that experience, I tell you. You know, in fact, that's how I would argue, like, that's how I learned, like, capacity. I was like, okay, now I know exactly where I am on this scale. OMG. Yeah, Auntie.
Well, my brother's the one who named them coma cookies. He's the one who made that name because he's an avid wake and baker all day, all night, smoking. And he's like, let me get one of them weak ass cookies you got. I was like, here. And he was out for the night and said, "Oh my God, those are coma cookies. Those are too strong. Is there any way you can scale that back?"
Oh man, now that's a laugh right there. Because when somebody come off like that, man, let me get one of them weak ass cookies, and then later you're like, "God damn." Well, but I guess you put your foot in your mouth.
Say, oh, edibles don't do nothing for me.
Right. That's who my homeboy was. That's how my homeboy was like, "Yeah, edibles, you know, they ain't gonna really do much for me, but I'll take one though. You know." 3 hours later.
Still in the parking lot. Figure out how he got there and where he's going.
Yeah. He said, man, every time I went to go drive, he was just like, I was in an alternate reality. He's like, I just had to stop. He's like, it was just like, I was no more driving. Like, every time I went to drive, I was flying in shape of a spaceship. He's like, yeah, I just was like, yeah, I'll just surrender into this. I'll meditate and we'll be all good. So anyway, yeah, Auntie G, it's always good to hear these funny stories, and OMG. Everybody, I want to reset the room real quick. I want to say hello to Shy. I want to say hello again to Yusef. Hello again to T, JD, Coco, and Meyer. Everybody, let's open up our microphones and let's say huge good morning to the brother, Meyer. Clarity.
Good morning, Meyer.
Good morning, Meyer.
Good morning, everybody.
Yes. Brother Meyer, what's happening, broski?
Last night.
Damn. I know those.
Your dreams were too loud?
Yeah. Y'all ever like
spend an entire night having one dream, and it's just like you're super pissed off and stressed for the entirety of that dream.
Right,
Yes.
right.
Yes, that's the word. You wake up tired because you were dreaming.
Yeah,
Fighting in your dream, mentally.
Right.
Yeah, I'm on that tip this morning. I'm a little mentally drained from loud movies in my sleep.
I feel you on that, bro.
May I suggest a nap, Meyer? May I suggest indulging in a nap?
That's true. I'm notoriously bad at napping, but I think I'm gonna have to force myself.
Bro, I know
It is a
those
good way to
dreams.
reset your day, though.
Pardon me?
It's a good way to reset your day whenever you're
sure.
like exhausted like that, or you're having a bad day. For whatever reason, your body resets, nap, and wake up, even if it's only, like 30 minutes or something.
No, that's true. Yeah, I definitely gotta I'm gonna set aside a little bit of time and just repivot the day. Cause damn.
Right. I know those dreams, bro. Especially those ones like where you wake up and then even when you go back to sleep, it picks up where you left off. You're like, God damn. This is
Man, it's the same shit. Like every time, it's this like apocalypse dream, and all the shit's falling apart, and I gotta go back to my old apartment and pick some shit up, and then inexplicably, I'm supposed to terraform Pluto because humanity's got extinct.
Right.
Right. So yeah,
right.
got some stressful shit every day.
That's a whole lot there to do there, Meyer.
Yeah, it's a to-do list.
Yeah, no, I get that though, bro. Let me ask you a question. You said this is a dream that has occurred before? Like this?
Yeah, I've
this
pretty much been
sequence?
having the same dream for like 2 years.
Right. Okay. So yeah, I definitely get this, and I'm listening from a particular perspective, because, I study about these things, I learn about these things. So yeah, I definitely understand that, bro. And yep, I can understand even as to maybe even the links, why, like just, some things that you've experienced and that kind of thing. What do you do before you go to bed? Like, what's your, just curious, like, what's your normal routine before you hit the sack? Is it the same, or is it just kind of like, whatever the way goes, the day goes?
No, it's pretty much the same. I have a bad sleep hygiene. I fall asleep with the TV on.
Got you. Yeah, I was gonna say that's one thing that I noticed. In fact, I had to stop doing that. Like I used to sleep with the TV on and that kind of thing, but then that shit started coming back to bite me because the sharper my ears got, especially becoming an audio engineer and having acoustic ear training in acoustics, and then ear training in music, deep ear training in music. My ears never shut off, and so it wound up being one of those things where the TV would wind up playing a huge part of my dreams because it'd be so much damn clarity in that shit. And so I asked you that.
You start hearing the subtitles.
Yeah, real talk. One thing I would suggest, bro, and I'll DM it to you. I'll say it here, but I'll DM it to you. One thing I use to help with even what you are experiencing, because I've actually experienced that too, and I noticed that my reoccurring was definitely linked to something that was just, it was a tough time. It was a tough equation. It was something that just, even though I accepted it, it still was going through a process for me. Is I started using what later turned into this self-care journey for me. And for everybody here, I have a self-care journey called the 10% Happier Self-Care Journey. And I started it in 2019. I've been documenting it on my YouTube channel and on my podcast, so you'll see that there. But one of the things about this particular solution, this app, this resource, is that it has these sleep meditations in it that I've really found to be helpful. And it's by different creators, so you can choose from different people. But I've really found that to be helpful. And I'm curious, bro. I'll send it to you, and if you feel, like it might be something you might want to try. Awesome. Yeah, I'll definitely.
I appreciate that. That's super sick. I definitely need to change up my sleep pattern.
Right. And the reason why I'm mentioning that is because, again, connecting with you with not only being someone who, again, can relate, because on a deeper level, like psychologically of why it might be happening or what it might be linked to. But that also a person who is connected with you through sound and frequency and music and our ears being perked up in a particular way. You know, I'm not the type of person where I can listen to everything when going to sleep. like I can't listen to some things because my brain doesn't shut off. So I'll even be processing and participating in these things, like even when I'm not trying to. So I can't listen to anything going to sleep that I disagree with or anything like that. It doesn't work. So my point is that there's a very small amount of things that I can go to sleep with. And Meyer, I found this to be good for people like us that not only deal with these kind of things, but that also have really sharp ears and is really tuning into our environments. So yeah, I'll shoot you that, bro. And by all means, I love to see if it's something that helps. 100%.
That's huge. Thank you so much. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna I'm just trying to turn off the brain by watching anything. So even a guided meditation is gonna distract me from thoughts.
Yeah, and this is like a good distraction because it won't have your mind further thinking. It actually is really good to settle in. And so for everybody, again, this is an app. This is a resource that's called 10% Happier. Just look it up on your phones, 10% Happier. It's an app. It's also a resource online. And I've created a 10% Happier self-care journey through my personal brand on YouTube and Facebook and my podcast. So 100%. Meyer, as always, bro, I mean, it's just, first of all, again, good morning to you, bro. Good morning. It's good to see you. Good to talk to you again, bro. Good to just hang out one more time, bro. Anything else?
Always good to be here.
Yes, sir. Anything else, man, on your mind as far as just like the day or life in general or anything we've been chopping it up about here?
I mean, today I'm just trying to it's just all going to be self-care today. I'm definitely going to look up the apps. Trying to stay off the internet just because I'm reading about all this GameStop shit that's going on, and I already have a pretty large bias towards not liking the wealthy and the shit they do. So to see them do their shit in broad daylight kind of rubs me the wrong way.
That's
so
good.
I gotta stay off.
Stand away from your triggers. Away from your triggers. That, my brother, is deep self-care, and honestly, I appreciate everything you just said, and that specific aspect of self-care is one of the ones that I appreciate the most, because you got to know your fucking triggers, people. You got to know your triggers. In a few minutes, I'm actually, you know what I mean, bro? Got to know them triggers. And let me tell you one thing about those triggers is that you have to know them because you also have to know how to stay away from them. You know, many people know what they're triggered by, but literally they can't help themselves from going toward their triggers. And I know why. Like, we've been studying in psychotherapy pretty heavily. When you talk about association and disassociation, one of the things is that, and I learned this even before starting to study psychology and be in school for psychotherapy, it was like, I realized there was many times we are more comfortable with things. No, we're more comfortable. We accept things that make us feel uncomfortable, and the things that don't. I mean, the things that do feel comfortable, we can reject. When it comes to like, many people are more concerned with the validating of how they feel than feeling better. Like, and that's the thing why you got to watch for those triggers. Because we'll lean into our triggers sometimes because it validates how we feel as opposed to making us feel better. And I realized that as a phenomenon through not only my own actions and being able to see that, but also others that I would observe around me, and people that were really close to me, and I knew them and I knew their stories. So knowing your triggers. So, bro, I want to first just say kudos on that self-care, because I think out of everything, that's one of the most important things. You know? So yeah, bro. Cool, man. Well,
mask on first.
Yeah, what'd you say, bro?
I said you gotta put your air mask on first before you can help others.
Yes. You really do. You really do. So, bro, as always, man, thank you for coming through. And I don't just mean coming through as in sliding by. I mean coming through on just gems with more clarity to help us, bro. Every single day, bro. Always appreciate you. Much love, fam.
Appreciate you too. Much love, everyone. Thanks for always letting me come through as is.
Yes.
Appreciate you.
100. Yes, everybody. Everybody, let's open up our microphones. One more time, I want to reset the room. Tiny, Dalia, Shy, T, thank y'all for hanging out with me and everybody else that's here that you see. And also to my FB family. It's Friday, y'all. It's Friday. I hope that this time together will start to prepare you for an amazing weekend. Everybody want that flow life, but don't nobody want to deal with them ebbs though. I'm just saying. That's going on a mug, y'all, real soon. Everybody, let's open up our microphones and let's say a huge good morning to Coco, Lorraine, Vera. Coco, what up? What's up?
Good morning. Hi, Coco.
Good morning, Coco.
Good morning, Coco. I'm in the morning, Coco.
Auntie Judy, you're so sweet.
Good morning, Coco. What's happening? What's happening with you? How you doing?
Well, I'm doing good. Doing pretty good. I'm beside the lovely JD, and we have a secret.
Really? You got a secret?
Yeah, but you know about it already, so it's not really a secret to you.
Do I?
But it's something that we. Is she? JD, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, you want to tell them what our secret, not so secret is?
Yeah, a secret, but not a secret. But Coco is now my passion coach. She has taken me on as a client. So, yay!
Y'all better break y'all microphone or open them up and scream. That's amazing.
So the announcement
my
is
God.
JD has won the pageant.
Yeah, well, she's gonna have to have an official coach, but I get to be the side coach. I'm really good at being on the side. Like I was on the bench for my basketball team. You know what I'm saying? I ran track for a week, so I know how to get into the game.
A week?
Yeah, I was out there for a whole week, and it was the worst week of my life in high school, anyway. But yeah, I'm excited to be working with JB, and because she is. I mean, y'all need to go look at her Instagram because she's all about her tips. And I think that we should sponsor her in some way, shape, or form, and all pour into her. She's going to be Miss Georgia. I'm really excited, and we're gonna make sure that when she touches the microphone with her essence and her voice, she is gonna blow people away just by the way she says her name. Okay.
I like that.
Ooh, OMG. I am so happy. So happy.
Yeah, she is our Clubhouse winner, and we her Clubhouse family, and I want us to be there to support her online when she goes in. If there's a way for us to pour into her, I need her to let us know what she needs, because I'm sure there's lots of people who would gather around her, and that's what Clubhouse family is all about. And so if we can pour into her in any way, shape, or form, we want to do that so she knows that she's not alone on this journey. Even though she has a lovely family, she also has a Clubhouse family. I said it, and I meant it.
It was heard, felt loud and clear, and it was what they say when we like I second. It was affirmed by everybody in this room, and it continues to be, because we are family. This is so good. Look at how we are helping each other. Look at how we've gone from not knowing each other to having deep impact in each other's lives. And it's only been 30 days, y'all. It's only been a little bit over 30 days. Like, come on. This is so good. I'm celebrating right now.
Giving to each other feels so good. Like, we were in LT's room last night in the Bay Room, and there was,
I know who you're talking about. I can't think of the name either, but yeah. Oh, Chameleon.
She poured into us like crazy. LT, did you talk about that yet? And I'm telling you, we're trying to pour into her because she served us just this gourmet meal out of nowhere. We just having this beautiful conversation, and all of a sudden it just turned into magic. And she's healing hearts and our feminine divine essence, and LT's talking about affirmations versus affirmations and stuff.
Wow.
And then, so being able to pour into each other and just give out of the goodness of our hearts, and just with it comes back. It comes back, shaken together, running over, right? And so I'm happy that I want to say thank you to you, Aaron, for being such a beautiful catalyst and bringing this family together. Because now we get the chance to just love on each other, and I never thought about being a coach. I might even do that, one day, like as a paid gig. But
hell yeah, you will.
The idea of pouring into young girls. I've been pouring into young girls through my Bellas program for 15 years. And talking to them about stage presence, and we would do poetry and musicals, and we would sing and do step on the stage. And I was talking to them always about self-esteem and how to use your voice and that kind of thing. It never dawned on me that that is kind of pageant, that is somewhat like a pageantry type coaching. And so I'm speaking to JD. I'm like, girl, we can do this and do this and do this. And so. And so I'm really excited. Man, I wish I could be in Georgia right now with her and just, and be at the, be in the audience. That's my baby.
Right. Right. Be that mom, that Clubhouse mom in the audience. That's my Clubhouse baby.
That's right loud too.
You're right. And look, and that's got to be right after they're like, so here's the instructions. We know that everybody wants to celebrate. So here's how we're going to do it. If you could hold, I love when they say this because it always backfires right away. If you could hold your applause until everyone goes across the stage, we'll appreciate it. And does everybody understand? Yes. And then as soon as you walk across the stage, JD, that's my baby!
You better walk across that stage.
You better walk. You better strut. You better take those steps. Oh my God.
You better stand there.
Right.
Put your hand on that hip. You better put your hand on that hip.
Right. This is pageantry right here. This is pageantry. Do y'all know? You better flow in motion. Oh my God. That is always, I live for that moment because I know it's always going to be somebody. It's always going to be somebody. And you can't blame them. It's really hard to keep that much emotion in when you're that proud. But it's always so funny because the more they say, like, everybody wait, the louder that person is. Oh, man. Coco, this is really, really exciting. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
It's exciting. And it happened at all of my babies' graduations. Like, my kids would know if my mom was in the audience.
Right.
And I was already working as a speaker in all their schools and storyteller back in their schools, right? So then when they went across the stage or I'm screaming, everyone's like, really? Really, Coco? You do not have to be that loud. It's like grade 6 graduation. You know what I'm saying? It's not even really. It's not even our grade 5 graduation or something.
Right.
That's my baby. Okay.
I was just about to say, let somebody say that to that woman. Like, look, it's only grade 5. Dude, what? It's only grade 5. Do you know the blood, sweat, and tears? You're like, you know what, ma'am? You know what? Just go ahead. In fact, just go ahead and have a whole party because, yeah, you're right.
Yeah. I had a whole party for my kids, and it was like they were graduating for everything. I had this whole scenario that A was all right if they got an A in school.
Oh,
B
nice.
Was brilliant. C was creative. D was dynamite.
Oh, that's so dope.
You tried. It blew up in your face, but you tried.
Right.
And so E stood for excellent effort, and I never let them feel bad about it was the journey of education and the fact that they showed up, and then, And then my kids got away with a whole lot, right? They're like, Mommy, I skipped. I know. Sometimes I feel like skipping work. Why don't we skip again today? Like, I was the worst when it came to that, right? Like, Mommy, I don't feel like going to school today. Yes, burn Babylon. Down with the system. I ain't too proud to beg. Like, I was just going.
Oh, my God. That's hilarious. She said, that's right, burn Babylon. Yo, I love it. Oh, my God. Yeah, no, and
so JD has my full support, and I'm really, really happy to be working with her.
Oh, man, that's so exciting. And we were just talking about that earlier, just like what it means, to validate your children, to validate your child. We were talking about what it means to how validation goes a very long way, because it builds trust even. And, even when sometimes we can, go overboard, there's still like so much good to that level of validation. And Coco, you to me are one of the most validating people that I know. And we were talking about it the other day, and I just want to reiterate it here, just thinking about it, because with knowing your story, I think about how you understand what validation means firsthand, because at the beginning of your work and your life work as a mom and as a creative and as a speaker, you immediately were connecting with young people, and your first, I can even imagine, I can see you in my head on the stage. It's like your first point of connection is immediately relatability and validation, and so you have built your whole career, around that when it comes to working with young people and working with people in general. So, it's always such an effective thing when you're working with people to validate them first, and then from there educate them and, motivate and cultivate them. But I just want to give you kudos again, Coco, over and over again. Like, your method of validating people is so much of a potent thing in the way that you are as a person, not just as a professional.
Thank you. Yeah, my kids bug me sometimes. I'm in the McDonald's or something like that, and I'm like, oh, look at you with your pretty eyelashes up in here, taking orders. And they're like, Mom, do you have some motivational speak, everybody? Like, can you just turn it off for 5 minutes? I'm like, but she's got beautiful eyelashes. Look at her, the way she did her face. Like, she's so adorable. Look at her little black nose. Like, okay, Mom, I'll turn it off. Please, you don't have to talk to every stranger on the street. Every black boy. Hey, black boy, I seen you with your cute little face.
Right.
Stop. You're embarrassing me now. Like, not everybody needs you to motivationally speak them. They're just eating French fries. Leave them alone. But they're lovely.
Right.
They know how amazing they are. I'm sure they know. They probably have mothers or somebody.
Right. So. Oh, that is so funny. She said, do you have to motivationally speak everybody? Look, that's hilarious. Let me tell you something that's similar to that, that's equivalent in my life. When my son was young, he was so generous that he would hold the door. Like when we would go places, and he was such a kind kid, right? When we would go places and we would get to the door and we would go, say, in a restaurant, he would, jump in front of us. He would hold the door for us. So he'd be like, oh, thank you. And then, he would hold the door for the people behind them, and then hold the door for the people behind them, and then hold the door for people behind them. We'd be like, and it used to be so funny because we'd be like, okay, on one hand, this is the most generous thing in the world, and he gonna have to stop holding that door so we can go in and eat. Oh man. So I totally understand that, when the generosity, when you can't shut the generosity off. But I just want to say, it really is what makes you make such a difference, in the lives of the people that you touch every day. So I am excited about Coco and JD working together. I'm so excited about this. I am so excited. That's another highlight of my day. And so Coco, how was How are things last night? That room that you were talking about, what room was that that you were talking about last night? Was that here? Was that the Bay Room?
That was the Bay Room. That was
yeah.
Yo, man, y'all need to talk about that. Was insane. Miss Chameleon, she is a beast when it comes to explaining some deep stuff, and she made it so plain, and she was so rich with everything, and she was just saying it like, yes, I've just solved the universe's problems for all black people. That's the way it is. And then she had this cute little laugh. What you need to do is, connect to your divine essence. And I thought, wait, who are you? What? And she, she just was so humble and gracious, but poignant, and everything she said was so valuable, right? Talking about healing 7 generations. When we heal ourselves, we heal 7 generations in front of us and behind us. And I was like, what?
Damn.
I did not know that.
Wow.
So she went deep, and LT was sharing some deep wisdom too. So the room took a turn, and LT just let it happen. It was really, really powerful.
That's amazing. That is amazing. LT, oh my goodness. I don't even, at this point, I want to say what it be, but goodness gracious, I know what it be. And I'm excited because I'm excited about hearing more of this. I want to do a quick reset and we want to say good morning to Brandon. We want to say good morning to Self-Esteem Queen, Etta Fly, SB Thomas, and Shy. Once again, thank y'all so much for hanging out and joining the AP morning show. And if by all means, if you would like to jump up to the stage, our only goal is to say hey, then you can do that. And if not, by all means, continue to enjoy this experience in the way that you are. LT, you going far. What LT, you out here in these streets? I just, like, every time I think I could be more proud, then I just, it goes to another level. Like, LT, are you there, LT? Because yeah,
I can tell you that LT helped me yesterday. Oh, go ahead, LT.
This is like one of those times where you almost, like, you're so happy about it, your tone is almost like chastising. It's just like, LT, like, come on, LT, we need to talk. Like, what the hell is, like, what? When you're really happy, but it sounds like you're scolding. Like, what? Yo, what? What's going on out here in these streets, LT? Like, really?
Love amazing people.
Love rising, LT. Everybody say what's up to LT. You know what I mean? Say what's up to LT.
What's up, LT?
Hey, Auntie LT.
Hello, LT.
Oh, man. So I'm up out of the bed, y'all. Let's get that correct.
So that's first and foremost.
I'm fixing my bed. My bed has about 19 pillows on it. Put all the pillows in place.
Right.
So if y'all hear me breathing hard, that's what I'm doing over here. Just trying to put these pillows in this.
Look, my bed has now been some additional pillows on it ever since I started sleeping a different way to, like, help my back. Now I sleep with like 5 pillows, and one between my legs, one under my torso, one under my legs. I'm like, yo, this is Pillow City now. But it's
I love a beautiful bed. So.
Right. So LT, this is, how they say some food is so good make you want to smack your mama. You know how, like, something can be so good it can make you feel the contrast. Like, that's how I'm feeling right now, LT. Well, I ain't, I don't want no trouble. So I ain't saying I'm going to, smacking them like that. But you know how somebody's so happy they just chastise you, like, LT, what, LT, really? You out here in these streets, the Bay Room sound was lit last night, huh?
So let me just say that the divine spirit God will show up for you and answer all that you need when you need it. Go on, Toby. Go. You want to go outside? Go. I'm not walking with you. Go. Okay, stay there. He thinks I need to go outside with him when he goes. So yesterday was a full moon, and so we started the room, and I was feeling a little off.
Yeah.
Just felt my energy saying some things, and I'm like, hey, I need for the sisters to show up tonight.
Yeah.
And so they showed up, but then we had someone, Chameleon. Man, if she didn't come in there and set that room on fire.
Wow.
Like literally just poured from a space that I don't even know how we got there though. Like I don't know how we shifted over there, but baby, when she opened up her mouth, you know how you say open up your mouth and let the words come out?
Right.
Sister was not playing with us. You hear me?
Wow.
When I say that she poured into the feminine energy, fully knowledgeable, or you was feeling a little low, she filled your cup up like effortlessly. Couldn't even really explain the words because it was just flowing. It was really like the divine presence had just turned her light on and spoke through her in so many ways.
Wow.
OMG.
Wow.
OMG. I was just like, by the time she finished, it felt like my favorite restaurant, which is Benihana's, and I was sitting there with my favorite cook, her name, and I had ate all the food and I was just full. I was like, listen, I don't know if you got more, but baby, I can't eat no more. Like, you know, she, oh my God, like, she welcomed the feminine energy into that room and allowed for us to just bask in that love and that grace. And it, like, you really can't put words, like I'm trying to, but I'm doing it no justice.
I get it.
Like, I wish we would have recorded it.
Right.
That's how good it was.
Wow. Wow.
Just how good it was. But you know what? She also reminded me of some of the things that I studied over the years that I forgot about. Affirmations, and she was talking about magnetism and the difference between magnetism and manifestation. And this is when to affirmations and how that works. And she went into the portals, and oh my God, like,
that's a whole masterclass right there. But you know what though?
That's what we told her.
Yeah, right. I could bet that echoes exactly what y'all were saying. Yeah, that was a whole masterclass, whole vibe right there. And that's why I'm so happy, because the thing is, you know, these kind of things couldn't happen without all the steps that we're taking, moving back. You got Chameleon showing up. You got the family showing up. You got you creating the space. You got you coming through this space in order to even get to that space. You got me coming through this space, and then me being in the space, and then everybody else here, the spaces that you're in that allow. This is amazing. This is amazing. So that sounded like not only was it a mic drop, it was a mic pickup, it was enlightenment, it was all kinds of things.
Man, she let a bomb down in that room.
Wow.
You know what it says, a bomb in Gilead?
Wow.
There was a bomb in Gilead inside the bay room. And the interesting, the what I love most about it, it was so sweet, it was so eloquent,
right.
It was so universal. It was so non-judgmental.
Wow.
It was so peaceful.
Wow.
And I know for me, for one who always giving, right, and love, giving, she helped to reset and balance me back out by her giving. And Coco and I were just speechless. We were just sitting there because I don't know, I can't speak for Coco, but I know that we give out a lot. You know what I'm saying? And so it's only, you know, it's not that it's not few, you know, not people that can't give back into us. But when somebody steps up in the room, you honor what's there.
Right.
Like, we didn't, nobody needs to be the expert last night. She wasn't even being the expert.
Right.
She wasn't even talking about her business. She wasn't even talking about none of that. She just turned on her faucet. Like, she just turned on. And that thing just kept pouring in. I was like, oh my God. Like, I felt so femininely, I don't even know if this is a word, alert. Like, I felt aware. I felt toned in, tapped in. I felt I was so tapped in last night. So tapped in. Tapped in.
Yeah, I love this. Go ahead, Coco. What are you going to say?
Yeah, she made me aware of my womb that I had never, in a way that I have never been aware before. Like how, like she talked to me about that power that I have and the impact of healing, and it was incredible. And I came to the room like LT. I had just finished doing my room, speaking the Pain and the Power room, and just pouring out into coaching mode. so I came late and a little bit like, oh, I don't know how much I got left, right?
Yeah.
But I'm putting in 10-hour days where I'm up at 9, and then I'm my Clubhouse job, I call it now.
Right.
You know, I'm out here, right, almost every day on
Right.
Clubhouse streets, but
Right.
it's beautiful. I'm not complaining. So I did come a little bit, you know, and Elsie's like, what you got, Coco? I'm like, well, I'm trying to wing it, and I don't wing things, right? So I'm like, oh, yeah, we can talk about dating and relationships and why I can't get a man, you know? And then LT switched it up, and she started talking about affirmations versus affirmations. That's when the switch happened, LT, when you started giving from your, you know, and then Chameleon just took it from there, and it was over.
That's amazing. Well, I keep hearing over and over is when people care enough to share their experience. LT, you said something where you said nobody needed to be the expert in there.
Say it again, Aaron.
I said, you said something like nobody needed to be the expert in there. And I was saying that it really mirrors the idea that we are people who care enough to share our experience. And that's why these things keep happening.
Yeah.
You know, because nobody's trying to be an expert. And that's why I never use the word expert. Like really to the point where, like, when I hear other people use the word expert now, I'm like suspect. Like, I'm like 50% suspect right off the bat. Just because I know many people use that word to try to qualify themselves. And I'm like, why are you doing this? You don't have to fucking do that. Like, listen, knowledge and experience. There's something about life. And that is that you don't need to be qualified in order to share your experience. And the other thing is that life experiences speak more than academic education at the end of the day. Real talk. So I just appreciate the fact that you all are sharing your experience. This is what we're all doing, and this is why these amazing moments keep happening. OMG. So this is the Bay Room After Dark. OMG. Okay. So everybody, real quick, reset the room. Hello, Pamela. Hello, Edifly. Hello, Amber, Delia, Chameleon. Hey, Chameleon. Shy. So, Chameleon, if you want to come up, you know, I just want to say, I don't know, I just opened my eyes, just looked at the phone. So, not sure how long you've been here, but flowers have been being poured out. And I could not be more happy. I could not be more proud. I could not be more honored. And so, hey, Delia, coming on up to the stage. And so I just want to say, Chameleon, first of all, just thank you for being you. And I'm just excited and the serendipity of you coming through. Just like, first of all, good morning to you.
Good morning.
Good morning, Chameleon.
Love rising, beautiful. Love rising. Thank you for showing up, because I was just looking to ping you in here so that we all can just shower you for what you did about us last night. Like, can you just, Aaron, can you just allow her just to drop just a jewel or two of what she shared with us? Because somebody else made to
100.
Hear it, they weren't able to, you know.
No doubt, yeah, 100. Right before we do 100, because in fact that's one of the reasons. Well, I called her up because, or I wanted her to even just hang out because I just wanted to first say, like, again, Chameleon, thank you for being you. I just want to say that to you, and I want that to I just want to be right there. Thank you for just being you. Thank you for saying yes to you in the ways that you do. And thank you for, I don't know if you heard a few minutes ago, but my biggest philosophy in life is that you don't have to be qualified in order to share your experience. Because sharing your experience is always going to be something that has the ability to help someone in some way, shape, or form. And so I just like to salute those that say yes, those that say yes to being themselves, and just being available in that way. So I just wanted to first praise you on that. Like, and that's it. Yep.
I appreciate that. Thank you. So I'm very clear, and it's humbling and flattering that someone shared with you last night. You know what I mean? Because you were there. So that's a blessing that it impacted them in such a way that they were able to impact you. Well, you felt to say something, so I appreciate that. Yeah.
You're very, very welcome. I mean, singing your praises, like not just, but that I recognize that light though, because this is the same thing that happens with me on the other side with people. So that's why it's it's like a mirror. It's just everything. So yeah, that is what happened. Their impact in just the way that they spoke about you impacted me indirectly that way. And I'm so glad you could show up and just see the result of that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's beautiful. I know a lot of mornings that I'm not able to get in and stay in and participate. So, but I definitely appreciate. I was just like, oh, let me pop in, and then to come in with this, like, oh,
yeah.
So
we actually just called you in. We actually called you in. Like, our spirit was calling forth for you to come in this room. And as soon as I went to go press the pink button, Aaron said, Chameleon is in the audience. I said, oh, okay. That's how spirit works. Like, we don't actually have to do the work that we think that we need to do. And it's what you were talking about from the mind and the heart and the womb. Like, and magnetizing. I just magnetized you in here. I just used my magnet to bring you in here.
There it is.
That's fun. I was on a business meeting prior to that. So, yeah, that was funny to have that happen.
I always say this. I say serendipity plus intention equals life. It's one of my number one quotes. Everybody is going on the next Aaron Hill mug. I'm holding this up in front of the screen if you're hanging with me on FB. And if not, all you got to do is just click on my Instagram. I got a new video. It's like in my Instagram bio now. I got a video in there, like an actual video, like real talk. You have to click on it to check it out. But that's the next one that's going on the Aaron Hill Sentiments mug, revealing mug series. Intention, serendipity plus intention equals life. And so I have a question for you, Chameleon. What was your favorite aspect of last night? Like, what did you enjoy about last night? What did you enjoy most?
For me,
yes.
The connectivity that it was received.
Yes.
One of the things I was sharing with them yesterday is that this has been my work for 20 years.
Yes.
We're now moving into a space as a collective that we're willing to shift and change our paradigms. And so that's making people receptive to ideas and thoughts that they may not have ever considered before.
Yep.
And it's allowing us to break away from, just the mental enslavement bondages, which has created an environment for me to, I've always been a speaker and speaking on these things.
Yep.
But I was faced, especially coming now. I know you all are at different locations, but I had to leave Maryland. I'm in Maryland, back home. I had to leave to find my quote unquote tribe because I was so frustrated that nobody wanted to hear it and talk about it. But now, because of social structures, we're now in an astrological too, because that's what the age is about.
I was just about to say it.
So there was a number of things that alignment is happening is the point. Change. This is the time for change. This is the awakening. Even the most person that you saw them passed out, sleep, a slub coming down their mouth, now saying things that you're like, what? When did you wake up?
That's it. That's it.
Yeah.
Age of Aquarius. Let's get it. I'm just saying. So yeah, that to me, I'm feeling the energy. I'm feeling what you're saying about the connectivity. I'm feeling what you're saying about like the fact that you felt the receiving, you felt the receiving. And that's why I always say serendipity plus intention equals life, because the only way moments like that can happen is that it's both. It's us setting the intentions, but it's not just the intentions of those moments. It's the intentions that lead to the intentions of those moments. Like, again, it was all a dream. I used to read Word Up magazine. Like, this was all just a dream for me. My only goal was to just get up at 7:30 and set an intention to do that and just be with some other people who could say true that. Like, I feel that. That's where I am too. But I already knew what the hell was going to come out of it, because this is not the first time I've done this. So that's why I love this concept of serendipity plus intention equals life. And when you combine it with people like ourselves that are willing to be ourselves and willing to be open to the flow and to listen within and to just go when we're called to go, like, it's just amazing. It's amazing. So, Chameleon, I just want to salute you again for being you and for everything that happened in the Bay Room last night. And for those that don't know, Bay Room every day, what is it, Monday through Friday, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Bay Room After Dark, LT and the family. Did I get it all right, LT?
No, you didn't.
My bad.
Okay. I will bring it back for you. So the Bay Room is held Monday through Friday, 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and that's why it's after dark. It's something that you ladies requested, and we also inside the Bay Room feature each other, right? So last night was Coco's room, which I love, but Coco and I both were really low, we ain't giving out all day. And I love that the Bays will step up and turn their light on and give us what we need. So, Chameleon, you turned my feminine light on last night. Turned my feminine light on. She's on, and I feel her speaking to me. I feel my wound. I'm like, I'll have to just inbox you on some stuff that was released, and that. Yeah, you actually gave permission for us to just be in our feminine energy.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Mm-hmm. That part. Yeah, like, especially for someone who, in mothering, I don't have to, but there's a dynamic where sometimes I'm pulled to be in both energies, right, with my children. And then in business, they want you to be feminine, but they also want you to have that masculine thing and go out there and sell and make that money. So, you turned your light on, became a demonstration, mirror to us how we can still live fully.
I also want to say hello to my FB family. This is my Clubhouse family.
So thank you for that.
And allowed us to ask questions and answer them with such grace and poise. My goodness. Wow.
Grab an iPhone, download this app, Clubhouse.
Thank you so much. So, but LT, I wanted to say in response to, because you said one thing, you talked about business, how business can pull on you and tax you. That's one of the reasons why I shifted to business coaching and consulting. If you look at the professional and business environment that we've inherited, it really is a continuation of slavery.
Yep.
And so the etiquette and practices that we have become accustomed to, the no-care attitude, and you really are a possession. You really, and even in business, it's not, when you go into business financing and things like that, you're an asset. And so femininity is essential in business because it's people who run it. And so it needs to be balanced. That mentality needs to be balanced. I understand that you have a deadline, but at the end of the day, how is the person's well? I love that.
That's it.
I love that. Can you, Aaron, can you do this one thing? I feel this for those who have been affirming things in their lives and not been able to really manifest. Can you just share the part that you shared with us about magnetism and manifestation? She probably got a call.
Darn. It was good.
She'll probably pop back in. But I am so appreciating this. We're going to hang out for like another 15 minutes, fam, before we wrap up this experience. If she pops back in, we'll let her say a quick demonstration of what that was about. And we're going to let's say good morning. Hey, Pamela. Hey, Pamela. Thanks for hanging out with us. See you in the audience 100%. And everybody, let's say good morning to, Clarissa. Let's say good morning to Clarissa, everybody.
Clarissa, yes. Good morning.
Yes.
Good morning.
Hey, Clarissa.
I'm really glad that today is the day that I've been able to actually talk here, because what I want to share is in alignment with what everyone else has been saying.
Yeah.
I made up about a week ago saying that this year I'm looking for people who want to partner with me from my daycare to help relieve the cost of childcare for families without me having to take a loss.
Right.
Two of my friends from Freedom School, excuse me, they did a workshop last night on Instagram Live, and I gave my families a discount for attending.
Mm-hmm.
Like everybody who attends got $15 off, and I chose one family to get the grand prize, which was a week off of daycare.
Okay.
And I was able to do that because 3 other trainers who I've worked with Freedom School, they all reached out to me. Like, one gave $30, another gave $75, and another one asked specifically how much was a week of childcare. So I was able to do that. And then when I told one of my friends, she's like, well, how much is a week of childcare? All right, I got you in 2 weeks. So I'm really getting a groove now. And
nice.
It's creating even another level of trust and appreciation between me and my families. So this week has felt really good as far as the goals that I set for myself.
Yes.
For being able to bless myself and my families. Because I told myself that I want to relieve that cost without punishing myself.
Right.
Because it's just like I don't know who was talking earlier, but it's like we give. And this year I decided that I'm not going to give myself into a deficit, but I wouldn't be myself if I don't continue to give and make opportunities for other people to give.
Right.
So this week is just like, this is just the beginning.
I love it.
Everybody got $15 off, and one family got the entire week off. So it feels good.
I love this balance that you're talking about. It really speaks to me when it comes to this. I want to really just appreciate you in how you are like, you're fighting for you, when it comes to making sure that you have what you need to be well while still doing what you want to do for everyone else, while still taking care of everyone else. You're finding that equanimity, that balance place in between where you're like, okay, I can keep providing because, like you said, it's not draining from me. It's not pulling from the source that I need to even do this, and I'm celebrating that you've not only had that thought and that intention, but then set it in motion and you're getting results. Yes, Clarissa.
The other thing I just remember, my best friend was like, when is payday for your staff? I told her it's Friday, which is today. And she's like, all right, I'm sending you $200 so you can give them $100 a piece. And because that was the other thing I said, I want to be able to afford a moral salary for my people.
Right.
Like, childcare is really underfunded. Like, people really pay $9 an hour to work with people's children. And I won't be a viable business if I was to pay what I think is a moral rate, but I know that that's who I am as a person,
right,
caring about people's needs and all that stuff. So I'm grateful to God that He's allowing me to do I keep getting a call. He's allowing me to do what I
what you want to do,
and what he's called me to do, and it's building a community as well.
I love it.
I gotta hop off, so I actually gotta run payroll right now.
What's your cash app before you go?
DM.
I just want to say one thing to
maybe put your cash app. Put your cash app on your profile.
So it's at the top. It says reparations to right there at the top, so you can send it there. I'm gonna put my PayPal as well, but whatever you got, hit me up on my DM. Follow me on Instagram. I decided that I'm going to dedicate my Instagram to my daycare, so you'll see pictures and videos of our activities and see just the fun stuff that I do with the boys. We have a great time. But yeah, follow me on stuff. I'll get with y'all later. Gotta prepare for lunch or whatnot.
Yes.
Yeah,
Carisha. But before you go, I just want you to know that God hears you.
I appreciate
and that's what you're actually attracting, is what God is answering you, and the answer is always yay and amen. So just keep asking.
I'm with it. I love y'all. Appreciate y'all. Y'all be blessed and have a great weekend if I don't talk to you again till Monday.
Yes. Everybody open up your microphones. Let's affirm Clarissa on an amazing day today. Yes.
Have a great day.
Have a great day, Clarissa.
Happy Friday. Have an amazing day, Clarissa. Have a great day, Clarissa.
Yes. Always good. Quick reset. We got about 10 more minutes, fam, that we're going to hang out. And I always love, it's so many things. I mean, look at how in every experience, look at how there's just testimonial after testimonial after testimonial. It's such a beautiful thing.
I just wanted to let you know I came back. I apologize. I had a call come in.
Oh, no doubt. No doubt at all. Yeah, I told you, I was like, she'll probably pop back in because I know how that is. Technology. So yeah, fam, just look at all the testimonials. We have not only people meeting people, going on to work together and help each other and coach each other, and we're enlightening each other. We're getting new resources. People are getting new resources, like physical resources for their business. We're meeting each other. We're finding people that we feel more closely with as family than even our DNA family, because fam are we. That's who we are. This is what we're doing. And I'm just excited because this is a village, and this is what a modern village looks like in the digital medium. And that's the reason why as soon as I learned about what this environment was about, I knew what I was going to use it for. Not for the bullshit, but I was going to use it for the good shit. And so I thank y'all so much for every morning being a part of that, not only in my life, but everybody else's life here. And so on that tip, let's say good morning to our dear friend Maria. Everybody open up your microphones. Let's say good morning to Maria. Good morning, Maria.
Good morning, Maria.
Good morning, Maria.
Good morning, family. How are you all? Wow, it's so beautiful to see you all. LT, thank you for pinning me into that room yesterday. So I was in a room with Ken and LT, and it was so powerful.
Thank you. Yeah.
Wow.
I'm glad that you were there.
What did you enjoy about the room that you were in, Maria?
I enjoyed it because we had a really authentic conversation. And we dove into just the questions that Ken and LT were asking, and just the goal that was dropped was just so powerful. So Ken asked a very powerful question. He's like, how do you know you're being valued? How do you know that you value yourself? And how do you know that others value you? Like, what in real life is showing you that's the case, right? So we dove into that kind of a conversation, and it was so powerful. Like for me, I said, for me, I know that I value myself because I have personal boundaries.
Right.
I also request people to value my time. That's also very important to me because I schedule everything. And so, having boundaries things like that, and being able to really teach people how to love and value me. That's very important. So we dove into that. Then we dove into the difference between self-love and self-care, because sometimes people get it mixed up. You know, they think that that self-love is just the component of, doing the practices. For myself, for example, I do spiritual practices. I go for walks. I drink water. Things like that for me is self-care, as well as getting massages, doing my hair, things like that. But self-love is actually introspection. It's reflection. It's getting to know oneself and getting clear on what our core values are, getting clear on knowing what we want, getting clear on having effective communication to communicate that to others, and valuing ourselves and teaching others how to value us by having clear boundaries. And learning how to say no when it doesn't align with us without feeling bad that we're saying no to someone. So things like that. It was really powerful.
That's really beautiful. And
yeah, that was I somehow, when you were saying that yesterday, I was like, okay, I didn't know if it was directly to me, but it felt like it was directly to me. Like, oh, okay. Like, oh, I needed a little correction without calling me out. So yeah, I definitely heard that. Thank you.
That's so powerful. The one thing I like about words is that we define words. Words don't come with pre-prescribed meanings. And so when I look at fun words like love and care and these kind of things, I look at them as adjectives. I look at them as crayons. I look at them as different ways of expressing different things. I feel like when we talk about care, and especially caring on ourselves, that's a part of loving ourselves. And loving on ourselves is a part of caring, for ourselves. And I believe they all intertwine together. The thing I love about what you're saying, Maria, is even beyond that level, just if I was just listening to just all those things that you named, all those attributes of each one of those things, they look so good to me together as just a full group. You know what I mean? Like if you just think about all those things minus the label on top of them, whether you put it under self-care or self-love, like imagine if that's, two headers at the top of a paper and they're all divided and you got the line under it and then you got each section and you start listing. If you list and then you take away all the lines and remove those top things, they all fall into one big basket of a total like self-care package, total self-love package, like whatever we want to call it. It's just all part of one big microcosm of like all the things that we need to do to take care of us. You know what I mean? Maria, it's just one of those things,
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. So I love that. And then when you wow, you think about all the different ways to do that. You're taking care of your physical, you're stimulating yourself in different ways. You're caring for your mind and your body. It's such a journey. I love the fact that we here like echo all the ways to do that in different forms. It's such a fruitful environment. So yeah, that was amazing. Did you actually were you in the Bay Room yesterday too?
Unfortunately, I wasn't. Right. And I'm not going to say unfortunately, because actually last night I was spending time with my daughters and my granddaughter.
Beautiful.
And we had a great time and we had dinner together and we were just chatting and fooling around. And just like really deep quality time with both of them. And I had my 15-year-old is a soul that is stuck in a 15-year-old body, but she's like 60.
Okay, right. I know that all too well. That's my daughter Aria.
She's in the space of questioning, herself and questioning her existence and questioning like what is life about, and then at the same time she has been drawn to Christianity, but then she questions it, and then she's asking a lot of questions, and then she goes, what if I don't believe in religion, and what if I don't believe in God? Does that mean I'm going to go to hell? And what if God exists and I just missed the boat? All these questions, but they're so profound. And so I was giving her, I was asking questions back, and I said, you know what? I love that you're in this position because you are a human being who's not just taking what's prescribed to you.
Yes.
You're not just accepting whatever society says or whatever I say or whatever anybody says. You're actually questioning, examining, being curious so you can discover for yourself. I'm so proud of you. That is so cool.
Yes.
And I'm like, I don't have the answers for you. Your soul has the answers for you. And I can just support you in you discovering them. But you're going to have to figure this out for yourself.
Yes.
And I said, what I know is that you will. But I said, there's nothing wrong with where you are in your life right now and in the things that you're thinking about and the things that you're questioning. And she was crying because she's like, I don't know. I'm like, that's okay.
Yes. Let me tell you something. Let me give you, this is so good. This is so good. This is so good. I feel like this is about to be another moment of value again in this room. And right before I do, I want to say hello to Kimberly. Hello, Eric. Hello again, Edifly. Hello, Pamela. We say hello and good morning to you. Thanks for coming through. Okay, Maria, I feel like I have one of the next best things for your daughter, for your 15-year-old. You did say daughter, right? Just make sure I got it right. Okay. All right.
Oh, yeah.
So I have something that I believe is about, I'm excited. This is like one of those things where if I'm right about this, I'm savoring this moment, like, because of the fact that if I am, it's like, this would just be so amazing. Okay. So first off, before I tell you what it is, first off, kudos to you for teaching your child not what to think, but how to think. And kudos to your kid because the questions are the best thing that you can do. Questions is really how you can really grow and learn. Okay. So with that, have you ever heard of street epistemology?
No.
Okay. Street epistemology is the very, very next thing that your daughter should look at and look into. And you can just watch YouTube videos and that kind of thing. Here's what street epistemology is. You and your daughter, because you're going to enjoy it as well. It's all, when you say a question that she was in about the questions, this is what it's all about. So street epistemology is a conversational tool that helps people reflect on the quality of their reasons and reliability of their methods used to drive their confidence level in their deeply held beliefs. If you're religious and feel at first glance that street epistemology is about trying to persuade you to change your beliefs, then it's time to understand better. It isn't. The goal of street epistemology is not to change your beliefs, but to change the way you form your beliefs. So it's all about asking questions. They didn't even name it here like I would like to read it, where it's all about asking questions. So instead of saying like that you believe something, it's like, well, what do you believe? Or why do you believe this? And so it's a conversational tool because the thing about it is when you ask a question, you know how questions lead to more questions. And this method, instead of it being like someone telling you something or you getting information from someone giving you the information or you telling someone, is actually where you asking a person a question. And then what that allows that person to do is to answer their own, like to get their own answer actually by taking that question in and thinking about it and then figuring out what the answer for them is. So I'm naming it here, but of course I'm gonna DM you, but I'm naming it here so everybody can hear it. Street epistemology, and the number one person to check out for this particular method is Anthony Magnabosco. Street epistemology, Anthony Magnabosco. If anybody wants to know what that is, DM me. If you want that information, just DM me. I'll shoot it right to you. I'm going to shoot it to you, Maria. It's the best thing because it's all about just asking questions, not so much coming up with answers, but asking the right questions, which then ultimately lead you to informed answers. So yeah, check that out when you get a chance. And I love the fact, I love the fact of where your 15-year-old is at. I really, really do.
Yeah, me too. And thank you so much. I'm definitely going to check this out and send it to me in my DM.
Yes.
We're definitely going to check this out. For me, it's so important not to tell my daughters what to do.
Yes.
But to ask them the right questions so that they can figure it out for themselves. Because there's nothing more empowering than discovering something for yourself instead of somebody just giving you the answer.
Yes.
And I'm causing leaders in my home. That's what I'm causing. And so to have them be confident and leaders in their own life and stand in their own power, and have self-love, it's very important that I don't just tell my kids what to do.
Yes.
It's so important for us to really ask them all these valuable questions that are gonna have them think. Like sometimes my daughters look at me with this puzzle face and they're like, okay, I'm gonna go think about that.
Yes.
And they just figure it out on their own. They're very powerful.
100%. That's and they. Yes, you're welcome. Okay, so I have just successfully sent you the DM into your mailbox. I wanted to send it to you while we're right here. And so, Street Epistemology, check this out. And the reason why they're in that place is because you have provided that foundation. You actually have provided that fertile soil for those kind of plants to grow. And so I just want to say kudos to you, Maria.
I got it. Thank you so much.
Yes. I can't wait to talk to you again and find out the conversation.
We're going to check it out over the weekend. I just wanted to add something else. Tomorrow morning, if anybody who can come, that would be great. Tomorrow morning, I'm hosting a room with an amazing woman, Sulma, who wrote the books No Bad Hair for little girls. And we're talking about how the Spanish community, the Latinos, have racism and prejudices against our Afro-Latinos.
Okay.
And that's going to be here on Clubhouse tomorrow at 10 a.m. So,
sounds good.
If anyone can join us, that would be amazing. Let's have a real open and beautiful conversation about how we can, again, cause freedom and unity for all of us
100%.
as a humanity, not just for some.
100%. Thank you for sharing that information. If you all need to refer, just DM Maria. Much love, Maria. Everybody, let's open up our microphones and affirm Maria on an amazing day today.
Have an amazing day,
Maria. That's beautiful.
I just wanted to say something real quick. You guys are, everyone, Maria just brought it to my attention, but everyone in this room, you guys are all such amazing parents. Like, I don't know if you guys see it, but I see it, but you guys are all great parents. Aaron, LT, Gina, Coco, Maria, Chameleon. I don't know if you have kids. This is my first time interacting with you, but Dalia, I know you shared the story, I think it was yesterday or Wednesday, about your daughter. Like, y'all are really great parents, and I don't know if you guys see your growth, but I see your growth.
Thank you so much.
And I want y'all to know that y'all are great. Y'all are amazing. Keep doing what y'all doing.
Thank you so much, JD.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you so much, beautiful.
I'm a mom of 6-year-old boy-girl twins, so I appreciate you saying that.
Yes.
You're welcome.
I love that, Chameleon. I have grand twins that are 6. They'll be 7 in April.
Oh, mine will be 7 in June.
Wow.
That's so beautiful. Oh, my goodness. Wow. I'm going to tell you another thing.
I love you all. Have an amazing day.
Take care, Maria.
Take care, Maria. JD has such a beautiful heart, man.
Yes, thank you. Y'all are so welcome. Yeah, I know when Coco was going on, I was making breakfast. I was late this morning. I had a long morning, but thank you, Coco. Just thank you so much for Tuesday. Thank you so much. And I know we'll do great. And just everything that you've taught me so far. I got a chance to do some Q&A with a friend yesterday, and I can see the growth. I remember a lot of the things that we talked about, so I try to implement them. So continuing to work, and I can't wait to make all of you guys proud on that stage on the 20th. So yes. You already done it, and you have Aaron to thank for evocative, because he was talking to me about evocative communication. So he's a wordsmith. So he's in this too with you.
Well, thank you, Aaron. Thank you so much.
Oh, my goodness.
Do you have another page?
I have my personal page. Yes. You guys can follow my personal page. That's where all the bullshit goes on.
That's the good shit. That's the good. That's that, and AKA the good shit.
Yeah. So if you follow my personal page, you'll see the process. Actually, I meant to post it yesterday, but since I got my dress, I wanted to post a throwback of my first ever pageant dress. So when you guys finally see the new dress, then you'll be like, wow, we went from this to this. I'm like, yes. But yeah, so that's where all the fun stuff happens, over on my personal page.
All right, inbox me from your personal page.
I will.
Thank you.
100.
You're welcome.
And thank you again, JD. Thank you so much for those flowers, for everybody here. The intention that everybody sets is what brings us here. And it's so beautiful when we can validate ourselves within ourselves, like within our own family and community. It's one of those things where, I'm not a person that needs validation, but I appreciate validation from those that I trust and those that I appreciate as well. And so thank you for that. And yes, we are excited as hell for you and all of your goals and aspirations, and always. And so everybody, let's open up our microphones as we're going to wrap this experience up in the next 5 minutes. But let's say a huge good morning and hang out with Dalia. Good morning again, Dalia.
Good morning, Dalia. Good morning.
Good morning,
Good
Dalia.
morning.
Yes.
Good morning.
Yes.
So, I wandered into a wrong room, but yesterday I did look for Coco, and I didn't see her, and I don't know if I was a minute too early, but I wandered elsewhere, and that was a mistake. And I wanted to message her and say, I just to let you know, I looked for you, but I remembered that you were iffy about doing it, so I was like, I don't want her to feel bad if she needs the rest. So, I had, and also, my kid has a couple hours before bedtime, so I had a time with her, but also spent some time in a bedroom.
Keep your ass in the house. Your ass is punished. You punished. In fact, you punished next couple days. You can't go outside.
I wandered into a room that probably needed Coco, and I didn't even realize it until too late. Part of the reason why I maybe didn't hear any pings or any notices was because at some point I just didn't want to rudely leave abruptly, but I just put my headphones down, was I need to just focus on my child. But I'm not going to say I missed out, and I know you did beautiful things for everyone who was in the room last night. I know you were almost going to do it on Saturday, but luckily
I'm doing it on Saturday, sweetheart. So you can meet me there Saturday at 6.
My sister's birthday is happening, but I don't know. She's the Clubhouse too. Maybe she'll want to come in. Maybe we'll say wish her happy birthday or something and stop through. But yeah. I wrote yesterday.
Nice.
I couldn't come to you to get filled, but I remember that I do have a well.
Yes.
One does have a well.
Right.
So listen to the well and just had my time, but
you let the well have its will. You let the well have its way.
Yeah.
Yo, that's good. That's the balance though. That's what it needs to be at times. It's all part of the flow. You know what I mean? And that's the thing. You're in flow now. You're in flow, and you're starting to let things go out of you and flow.
And I love your picture.
So you were there.
Your picture is hot.
Thanks.
Yeah, your picture is dope. It is definitely dope. But yeah, I'm glad that you were in that flow. And I'm glad that you were in the well. Real talk. I'm going to tell you one of the things that I want to do here. And I've been thinking about it for a while. So we'll see what makes sense and how it comes together. But I'm feeling like an experience that's a poetry experience, and I've been thinking about it for a while, and Coco, you come to mind for me. And Delia, you come to mind for me when it comes to sharing, and others here as well. So yeah, I really want to see about that. Coco, would you consider actually being a part of that, as far as us putting together like a poetry event here?
Would I? What you mean? Would I consider? Come on now. Was Eric in the room and Amber and? You don't even have to ask me. You just have to tell me where to show up and what time, and I'll be there.
Coco's probably already creating the calendar for it. She's already booked it.
Well, no, right. That's the funny thing. But that's the funny thing, because I'm so glad you said that.
But wait. Sorry, Aaron.
Right.
Didn't you and Eric? I'm gonna put Eric on the spot here. He's in the room, and I don't know if he can talk, but didn't you and Eric say you guys were gonna do a poetry room man edition kind of thing? Like, I'm waiting on that. I'm not trying to rush you, because I wouldn't want to put you on the spot or push you to do anything that you're supposed to do. And destiny is calling and waiting, and there's people on the app that haven't heard you, beautiful black men, talk about. Millions of people are just trying to, figure out how to live their life, and all the other poetry shows are all, horribly, degrading and so on like that. So, but I wouldn't pressure you or push you or antagonize you with the concept of the fact that you guys are just sitting on your talent, you're not giving it to the world, it's not really fair, and people are waiting for that. I would never suggest any of that.
At all, right?
Mic drop.
Hey, Eric, do you hear this, brother? Do you hear what we have?
I hear it. All I gotta say is good morning. That's all. Because all the women saying what they say, you gotta let the women talk, man.
But let me tell you. But see, okay, I'm with you on that, Eric. But check this out, bro. See, because there's a secret coded message in there, that you might not have caught. I'm gonna show you what that secret coded message it was. OMG, what you all just heard was the world's best persuasion, like the world's best persuasion artist, because everything that she said, even from the beginning of us saying we was gonna start a poetry room, that shit was made the fuck up. But but I was even convinced the way she said. I was like, God damn, did I think of? Well, wait a minute, maybe I did say that. What did you think about?
I'm trying to think if I said that.
You did. After we spoke at the university, you had a room. It was in this room, and you guys
plausible
said,
deniability.
It would be nice if we did something together, Aaron, and Eric was like, yeah, we can.
Plausible deniability.
Hey, look, I did, but here's the okay. So I'll come 50. I'll come halfway, right? I'll meet you halfway. Here's the other part about it, though, and I'm gonna go back to Maria. And this was so funny. This was such a funny moment. So I said what I said, and I was like, I'm feeling this. And then I was like, Coco, what do you think about that? Would you? Now, Coco opened up my mic, and she was like, hell yeah. Like, why you even ask me that? And then Coco said some words at the very end, and then Maria chimed in and said something. Okay, this is what it was. Coco said, all you got to do is let me know the time, and I'm there. And then Maria said, I could bet that Coco is already drawing it up on the calendar right now. And I bust out laughing. Because, Coco, I was asking you, would you put it together? And she said yes. She's like, why you even ask me that? And she thought I was just saying, would I put it together, and then just tell her when. So, Coco, I'm asking, can you be a part of us? Let's put it together. Would you consider that? And hold up. Let me listen to the crickets. Hold on. Let me. I wish I could still do that shit. I used to be able to do it with my mouth. I gotta figure that out for the next episode.
Because what had happened, because what had happened, right? And then,
right?
Because there was because every time, because.
Yep.
And I understood all of that.
Right, every last bit of it. Yo, that's why I laughed so hard. Okay, so now we're even. Now we're all we all on an even playing field now. Coco, I do remember what you're saying. Now, in my mind, initially, I've always actually seen this as like a thing that I wanted to see you do. And it was really, because of your history with poetry and, your family and just all the beauty that's come. And so I'm like, yeah, we're going to have some dope poetry. And I'm like, yeah, hopefully Coco will lead the way with us. So I'm actually down. Let's plan it. Let's do it together. Like real talk, because Delia, I want, ever since we've been talking about your writings, and ever since we, with Coco and Eric and myself, just everybody, like I'm just like, yeah, I want us to all share. It's the same thing that's happening through the Bay Room, and that's why I love what LT is doing, because LT is featuring the family. Like that could not be more village-like. That could not be more like insular as far as how you build a tribe and a community, how you build us up the right way, how you support us. And that's why I'm so excited about it. So yeah, Delia, all of that rambunctiousness that just happened was based off of the fact that I've been seeing for a while a poetry event coming down the pipe for us. And yeah, we're going to put this together, because I can't wait to feature you in that, Delia, so we can just let this light shine. So yeah.
Cool. Thanks.
And I'm sorry you had to hear that family shenanigans and argument. No, I'm just kidding. That's why I love this. This is why we have so much fun. And Coco and I joke like this all the time. That shit is hilarious.
I am down, by the way. I'm down. I'm just being the guy that just wants to be the guy. That's all. But I'm down. Y'all know that.
100, bro.
I'm in anyway.
Yes, sir.
Like you had a choice. Like you had a choice.
Well, we are men always have to act like they did.
Right.
We won't even go there.
Even if we don't, it's just like, Speaking of which.
Good question.
Mm-hmm.
I apologize for shifting. One, I wanted to say, Mama Gina, PTR, I changed my picture to be like you today. But I wanted to know, Eric was in your Bay Room. What'd you get from the Bay Room yesterday?
Oh, you talking about when you guys were talking? Just over and understanding. That's it. I just listen to over and understand. Look at it, 360 view. That's it.
Okay, fair enough.
That's the main thing,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Eric, brother, it's so good to see you, man. I want to say good morning to you. Good morning to you. Good morning to you, bro. I want to say good morning to you. It's been good, seeing you hang with us, man. Miss you, bro. Miss your voice, man. How you doing, bro?
I am good. Just like I said, my times have been a little off because I've been getting up later, been staying up a little bit later because I've been working on a few things and
right.
Still trying to squeeze everything that I normally do into, the time that I normally do it, and it's just kind of overflowing.
Right.
Have you ever had that happen?
Yes, sir.
Where it overflows until like late night hours, and then that spills over.
Spills
into the next
over.
day,
Yes, sir.
And it keeps going, and it keeps going. That's what I'm experiencing now. Yeah. So looking forward to this weekend because I'm gonna check out a little bit of LT's ministry of sleep.
Right.
Napping.
I know that's right.
I need some of that.
Yo, speaking of ministry, did you check out that nap ministry thing that we had found on IG that day?
You know what? No, I haven't.
That might be your next gift right there, bro. That's gonna. I was just about to say that. I was just about to say that's about to usher in your nap ministry weekend, bro. like
I could use it.
LT, am I lying? LT, that nap ministry IG joint.
I signed up on it. I follow them, but I don't see them in my feed. I don't know if they don't post enough.
Oh, got you. Okay. Did you find it fascinating though, LT, when you first, looked into it?
Oh yeah, I thought it was hilarious. So I'm like, okay, I got some folks over here. If you look at my story, you should see what I said yesterday. I was like, you know what, I got to take this nap. Oh, as a matter of fact, you called me, Aaron.
Right.
While I was right. I said I got to call you back.
And look, let me tell y'all something about when you wake somebody up from sleep. You feel bad. You almost like, God damn it, why didn't you just not pick up the phone? Because now I feel bad about waking you up.
That was funny. Then I went right behind after you called me and liked the post and then went to sleep. That was funny.
Let me tell you, that is hilarious. So yeah, bro, Eric, bro, it's just good to hear you, bro. It's good to see you, man. It's good to talk to you, bro. And I definitely understand what you're saying about that cycle, man. I just had the conversation with my daughter a couple weeks ago, and this, believe it or not, you're in like literally. I must remind you all. I can't like I will forever be saying this, like for years to come. You're in my like solution to that. You're literally in it because setting this 7:30 time was the time for me to break that cycle, and so it helped me get my sleep together, helped me get everything back in flow. So, bro, I understand that, and I'm looking forward to this weekend for you as well, man. From that perspective of rest.
It's just the Zoom stuff, man.
Right. It's fatiguing. It's fatiguing.
I just want you to know I missed you. That's all. I missed you.
Thank you. Wow.
I guess I'll go play in your inbox then, since, I haven't had some time. I feel neglected, but I understand.
You know what?
Look.
Thank you, smile. Thank you.
I see his.
You know what? And look, and Auntie Gina do the same thing. So, man, I appreciate y'all. For real.
Hey, look.
I don't even realize.
How come your pro, like when I look at your Avi though, your cheeks look redder on the Avi all of a sudden, man? Like what? No, I was kidding.
The whole hue of the picture changed.
Right.
Wow. You know what I'm saying? It just got red.
That blush mode.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
No, real talk. I appreciate all y'all because Coco, the cool thing about it is y'all just reached out because I think I mentioned to Coco and also Auntie Gina, like I have one of my very, very good friends, 30 years plus, which is, you don't have many of them.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's like well over 30 years. Has been dealing with COVID, pneumonia, been in the hospital, right. And he's actually on a ventilator now, doing well now.
Okay.
But you know what I'm saying? So that also on top of everything else.
For sure, bro.
Just kind of piled on. So it's like, whoa.
For sure, right.
And one thing I've learned to do in the midst of all those things is to just stop.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
I don't want to work on top of that.
Right.
And I've been known to do that, to just work super hard.
Right.
Keep working, to try to erase that.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna erase that. You know what I mean?
Oh,
and,
I know what you mean deeply.
And then that makes everybody else around me feel kind of funny too. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah.
I'm just working through all that.
Let me tell you, bro. First of all, I'm saluting you on working through that. And as a brother, I got your back, and that's why I'm glad that we're here with you, for you. You echoed those sentiments about maybe a week ago, I think it was, where you were just like, I just want to tell y'all, like, how much I appreciate how y'all check on me, outside of this experience. And I could feel it, directly from you. I know what that feels like. You not only working through, bro, but when it comes to working, like you said, usually your method of working through is working on top of that. But the thing I appreciate about your self-awareness now, like, and as you continue to move forward, is you're realizing that the working on top of that is working against you, actually. Like, it's you working against yourself. And so you're choosing to turn around and go in the other direction in the form of, instead of working more and working against yourself, it's working less and moving towards the rest piece, bro. So I just dig that.
Just so you know, Eric, I've been sending healing vibes to Brian. I've been studying this thing called reconnective healing. Mm-hmm. So when I hear stuff like that, I just automatically do that. So he's fine.
And by the way, he's doing well. So he's doing well because, just real quick, he it's funny. He didn't go on it when everything was bad. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
He didn't, which is wild, which was a lesson for me too that I had to take. Right. Back to the retreating piece. He decided to go because he was right. He saw the stuff that was coming. And he was like, man, and they was like, well, you could do it now, breathe a little easier. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to try to take all the labor of doing it on your own.
Right.
And basically what's happened is that he's gotten stronger his body was already strong. So, man, I mean, he's about to come off that thing very soon.
Right.
And it's so funny because when I looked at what he did, that's what I had to do. You know what I'm saying? I had to get the help or something else to help me through what I needed to do while I was still healthy.
Right.
Instead of waiting until I was unhealthy and beat up and damn near dead.
Right.
And then they try to do it.
Right.
You know, so
right.
You know, that's what's up. And like I said, y'all already know. We talk about this room all the time. There's a lesson in everything.
There's so much magic in what you just said too, Eric, about how to care for yourself or how to make decisions, not out of desperation.
Right.
You know, or when something is all the way wrong, like catching it and knowing right when to do what you need to do for you. So I like that you just put that out there on the table. Thank you.
Yeah. And one last thing, I'm gonna give y'all this. It's funny. 2 years ago, I spoke in Boston at a symposium that I had. Yeah, fancy word. Just meaning a little conference, but symposium just sounded so dope. But anyway,
that's my favorite word. That's my favorite word, bro. I love it shit.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And the thing that I spoke about is 3 words, and this was even before COVID and everybody started using the re everything. But it was retreat, rediscover, and reconnect.
Yeah.
And I broke that down, and it's so funny because we put these concepts out there, but guess what? We don't never use them on ourselves. We know how to diagnose everybody else, but man, you don't treat yourself.
Yeah.
So that's exactly what I've had.
That's, you know, and that's what I love about this tribe, because basically, Eric, what you've basically named there is every last person in here, which is why connected to everybody else in here, we're giving each other that equal fill up. That's what I love about this. It's like every therapist needs a therapist. Like therapists need therapy too.
True.
Doctors need doctors too. Just like friends need friends too. And so the way we've come through on this is like literally to connect with other people that aren't giving us like a third of what we need, but like giving us that exact fill up. It's like meeting us at the same level. And that's what I think about. I'm looking at this stage and I'm like, wow, everybody here operates from that perspective. Like everybody's on their journey. We've got our principles. But then when it comes to your fill up, you got to be connected to people that when you plug into them, what you get back is that full charge. Because there's nothing worse than plugging in and the damn thing not working, or the socket only giving you back a piece of the charge. So yeah, bro, I appreciate that.
Your bay room, listen, and then her bay room.
Right.
That's why I said I was overstanding and understanding.
Right.
Because it wasn't about me saying that. It wasn't about none of that. It was just about listening.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And that was all a part of retreating.
Yeah.
Because it ain't about you always opening your mouth. My mom always used to say, "Hey, boy, go over there and sit your ass down." And sometimes you gotta go sit your ass down.
Sit your ass down. Yes, I tell you. And we mentioned it earlier, and I always talk about it. Like my real thing of how I know more and how I'm more wise is I listen twice as much as I talk, and then before I talk, I listen one more again, and y'all know I could talk. And so on that tip, everybody, we are here today one more time. We've stood in accountability with each other. Yes, shoulder to shoulder. And I'm always so happy about it.
I love your picture, Chameleon.
I'm always so happy about it. And I am always looking forward to that opportunity again and again and again and again and again. So here we are. We're getting ready for the weekend. And I just want to say to you, and to the people on FB too. Right, my fam. Come on over here to Clubhouse, man. Let me tell y'all what this is one more time. For all my FB peeps, Clubhouse, audio app. It's like 3-way calling. I don't even have to explain what goes on because you heard it. Just hanging out. You do need an iPhone right now until they open it up for Android, which will be very, very soon. But what I'm happy about is that you get a chance to see who I'm going from here to the moon with. My peeps, LT, Auntie G, True for Life, Coco, Lorraine, Vera, JD, Maria, Chameleon, Amber D, Delia, and Eric Harrison, and the rest of the fam that you all saw come through, by all means. If you all would like to contribute to not only this experience, but any of the Clubhouse experiences that I host, all you got to do is look at the info that's located in my bio. And don't forget your mug. You mug. Yeah, never mind. Family, we've had a good time today. And so I'm glad to be here with you as always. I hope that everybody here has an absolutely amazing weekend on purpose. Now, let me tell you something before we open our microphones. Don't be leaving this damn room and then you go out here in these Clubhouse streets and then be all triggered and shit and need another morning show to just relieve your shit.
That's bars.
Good morning.
Can y'all PTR right quick? I'll hit y'all with my little kid picture too.
Oh man, that's beautiful. Wow.
Good morning. This is Kofi, my grandson.
Wow. Hey.
Train track.
Hey, Kofi. What'd he say?
It's so cute.
What'd you say, Kofi?
Tell him again. Tell him again.
I just built a train track.
You just built a train track.
Wow, that's awesome. It is awesome.
Oh my God!
Say have a nice day, everybody.
Have a nice day.
Have a nice day, Kofi.
I just want to hug you. I just want to hug you. I'm building. Have a beautiful day.
How old is he? He's how old are you, Kofi?
Big 4.
Big 4. Not just any 4. Not just any 4. Big 4.
Beautiful. Oh my God.
Oh, blessings to him.
Yes,
man, y'all, that brought a tip.
I'm telling you. Yes, family. So everybody, on that tip, again, I love you. I'm thankful for everything that we brought here and bring here. And I'm thankful for all the testimonies. And I'm thankful for one of the deepest things that's the most important to me, which is building a village and building a tribe. And so I thank you for being my accountability partner, tribe, the family. And so on that tip, everybody, let's open up our microphones. And one last time, let's affirm each other on an amazing day today on purpose.
Have an amazing day.
Yes,
Have an amazing
yes.
day, guys. Have a purpose day, everybody.
Man, thank y'all so much. Have a great day.
Yes, yes. Take care, fam. Take care. Yes, yes. Have a good day.
That was Oliver.
I thought that was Oliver. I was getting ready to say earlier. I was like, I think I hear Oliver. Have a good day, Oliver.
He was hollering in the background before, but now he all right. He's not as well behaved as his grandson.
Auntie G, I'm gonna hit you up right after this experience.
All right. Have a good day, y'all.
You too now. You too. Edify, we love you. We love you so much. Hope everything is well. Edify. I love this fly profile pic. That's dope as shit. Edify, you know you are one of the dopest. And it's always good to see you. Always good to see you. To my FB peeps and YT and After Replay peeps, thank you as always for hanging there with me and the family. See y'all soon. Peace.